Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Actually, correction there, Righteous Reg. We got 4 black fans, different perspectives.
Hey. Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's
because
what's up.
Welcome to another edition of Grapsody. It is Saturday, February 5th, 2022, and I am Will Washington, but I'm not alone here. As I mentioned, we've got Righteous Reg.
In the building, what's up? Double R, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. You guys leave me alone. I don't want to talk about whatever you guys think I want to talk about. I don't know. I didn't see the video. I don't like hip hop anymore. Actually, I actually want to talk about rock music today. Let's talk about why the Beatles set the world on fire. That's the only thing I want to talk about today. Yo, shout out to y'all. We in the building. It's Grapsody, the best ever, no doubt about it.
Also, here's Mr. Philip Lindsay.
Yes. Young Phil Lindsay here with Rockets Reg. Apparently, he's no longer Righteous Reg.
Let's go, baby. Hey, shout out to Phil Lindsay for that Grapsody sweater, too.
Hey.
Uncle Phil came through, got me a Grapsody sweater. We all got Grapsody merch out here. It's lit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got the Yo Fightful Graps one coming soon. I don't know where it is. It said it's shipped, so I'm waiting.
Could be anywhere.
But
Could be a minute.
Also joining us, we have a very special guest here with us, down there in the bottom right corner. He is I would say a TikTok sensation at this point.
Yep.
He is Mr. X3.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all having me on the show. It's a nice little. I like the vibes around here. I like the nice graphics. Everybody cheesing.
Yeah.
I like this. I
Hey,
like this.
shout out. This young guy is the king of fucking wrestling TikToks. He comes through,
appreciate it.
shuts it down every single time. We all have big laughs. I was just watching this one where he did 3 Mick Foleys in the
Oh, yeah,
Royal
that's-
Rumble.
That's one
That's
of my
the
favorite
best-
ones. Yeah.
When you come in as Mankind, dude, I die every time.
I
Dude, with the
appreciate
thing on
it.
your head and so good. This young guy, I've been wanting to talk to him for a really long time. He's like in the industry. There was like when I came up as a young as what he is, there wasn't more people like us. There wasn't a lot of us. All this new wrestling, black wrestling fan shit is brand new. So when people are wilding out online, I'm like, yo, where did y'all come from, bro? Because y'all did not used to exist. There used to only be me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. So, yo, I've been wanting to talk to this guy for a long time because he represents everything that's great about pro wrestling and the future of pro wrestling. Has a lot of dope ideas. We're going to hear about some of the things he does today. So, hey, appreciate you coming on with us today.
Appreciate that was some warm in my heart. You feel me? It's a little chilly in here, but my heart getting warm.
No, honestly, like I feel like I think everybody you talk to online probably has like a favorite X3 TikTok because like you mentioned the Mick
Probably,
Foley one, which
yeah.
like I swear the show me what you do. Like I hear that
It
in my
gets
head.
stuck in
like,
my head. a
It's
lot.
so funny.
But I will say that there were a couple of. I mean, like I was about to say, there's one that's my favorite, but then I'm like, nah, there's another one. There's another one. Because first off, the Peacock one, not being able to rewind, that one
Yeah.
gets me. I think about that one every single time. I'm like just trying to.
My favorite part about that is like I never used Peacock. I own the mirror. I was like sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I want to make something about Peacock. So I asked him, I was like, yo, does Peacock still have problems? Like, yeah, do this. Oh, say less. And it was one of those times I started watching Keenan and Kel again. So like you could tell I was like moving like Kel a little bit in that one. So that's like one of my favorite ones too.
That's dope.
That was good. But yeah, that's a real problem, right? Like not being able to rewind while watching live, like that stinks. That should be dying. But also, a couple years ago, you had one where you were walking on. it was like the monkey bars at the playground, but then you fell into, like the SmackDown. Here comes
Oh yeah.
That's like when I started like getting like more steam on TikTok, because I've been trying to make little funny videos forever now. So
Right.
TikTok came, I was like, yeah, this might be my perfect little spot. That took like 30 minutes out in like 40-degree weather, because Michigan weather is very unpredictable. I mean, ashy and shit. It was crazy.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah, no, it's funny too, because I lived in Michigan for a little while, right? And so I'm from Colorado.
Right.
We have dry weather here, extremely dry. So like the cold here, I know a lot of people like think because it snows here that it's gonna be like super cold, but we don't have any bodies of water nearby, so it is. So it's a dry cold, and it's not nearly as bad as when you're in that super wet cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, the thing I hadn't experienced also was living in a Michigan summer. I have to show you guys the worst picture of all time. I can't believe I'm going to show this on a podcast. But
Living in a Michigan summer. That sounds like a song almost.
So
one of them 80s joints.
Man.
So, look, I know Reg likes to make the light skin jokes, all of that here, right?
What?
Here's the thing.
I would never.
Here's the thing. So I lived in Michigan, right, during the summer. So I had never really experienced like humidity like that because dry summer, right? So like dry summer, I get dark in the summer, but Michigan, I got dark. So much so that I was working this job for like a month outdoors. And I swear to you, this is a real picture, right? I was working outdoors. I was in shorts, but I had on socks. Michigan did this to me. All right, that.
Oh my God!
That is a photoshopped picture.
No, that's not
What is
Photoshop.
going on? That's my leg. with
Yo,
your foot on the bottom of it,
What
bro.
is that?
What is going on? I am
you
not
got-
That is
seeing
how
this.
dark I got in the
What
summertime.
in
Man,
the blue
Will was putting on
hell?
that Mandy Rose toner, bro. What you
I'm
doing?
saying, damn.
I got fried that summer so much that I was like, I took my sock off that day, and I'm like, what happened? Like, this is like this
You-
is two different people.
You was on our side for a minute. That's what's up. How did it feel? Dark skin privilege, which we don't have. Okay, man, damn. It's hot in these streets. Well, it's hot in those streets, as you can see. They turned your ass into a chicken wing.
That was my summer in Michigan.
Turned your ass into a cross-faced chicken wing. It's crazy out here. Can't believe this.
That was the Detroit life, and that was also the summer I learned that white people aren't allowed to cut my hair ever again.
Oh boy!
That was
Ooh.
You went to supercuts?
Oh
No.
my God, my guy pulled up the super cuts. We
So this is
wildin'
what
out here.
This is what happened, right? So I have I have been living in Denver for so long that I had the barbers I was adjusted to. I had a barber that I've been going to for 10 years. My current barber I've been going to for 12 years. I was so adjusted to knowing what I wanted and knowing what I liked that I had forgotten the experience of trying to find somebody new. And so I had this job interview, right? And it was the next day, and I had just moved to Michigan, so I had found a barber yet. And so I'm like, fuck, I just need to get my hair cut, and I can get it cut. I'm like, I have no time to be picky. I got a job interview tomorrow. And so
First
I
mistake. No time to be picky. You always have to be picky, no matter
I
what.
know.
Always
I know
time to
that.
be picky, just a little bit.
I know that now, right? Because I get to the barber shop. Okay, so yeah, I think it was like a chain or some shit. It wasn't Supercuts, but it was just as bad. And
Something cuts.
so it was one of those like, look, man, I just need
Sports joints.
and I asked the question. I got in
Sports
and the first
clips.
question- and the first I got it. First question I asked. Do you cut black hair? And this is a white lady too, and she looks at me and she's like, yeah, you know. And she looks at me.
Oh,
and she's
no.
Like, and I should have known,
You
right?
should have went right to the hat store.
I should have known that it was that her simplifying what I was asking, because I was like, yeah, I just sport a fade, you know, keep it short, wavelength, and she's like, yeah, I can do that, and I was like,
You're like, wait a
Right.
second,
So-
what are you doing with that bowl, lady? You better put that damn bowl down.
So hold on. This is how
Comb
bad it
and
got too, because I'm gonna bring this story back around. So, she took my hairline back way too far, right? Now,
Honestly.
I had been frying that whole summer. So all of a sudden now, not only did she take
Oh.
my hairline back, but now I have this light ass line surrounding my whole
Oh,
face
damn.
because of the fact
Did you dirty?
she did me so dirty.
Because she ain't never seen that before.
Right. And so she took my line back, and on top of that, again, my face is so much darker than my scalp is at this point that I now have, it looks like somebody like took a highlighter and like wrote around my face just to make
Oh
sure
my God.
you could see. It was so bad. And then I walked into this job interview like, let me explain.
Look,
Let me explain why I
this
look
don't
like
reflect
this.
my work. ethic,
Right.
okay?
Yeah,
This is on
yeah.
accident.
I was
Yeah,
short. I was trying to get ready for y'all.
Yeah, it was so
Wow.
bad. Bad. That
I,
was
I'm not sure if I've ever let anyone white cut my hair.
Mm.
So here's the thing. It's not that I won't let anybody white cut my hair, but my first question is, do you have black clientele?
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
You know,
because,
barbershop etiquette is so important that just got dreads, so I didn't have to get haircuts. That's how important it is. And I live in Oakland. There's a lot of black barbers here, but like, yo, it's hard to find one. And in Oakland, you could die in one. So it's like there's a lot of things
Yeah.
connected to this. So yo, forget haircuts, get dreads, and we just living like this now.
I mean, Michigan barbershops were something else too because
Yeah, no, I
ended up-
know.
So because I ended up finding a barber. Because I ended up finding, I swear to you,
Phil,
this is a true
too.
story too. And I don't know if you've had this experience, X, but this was. But so I went to. I ended up finding a barbershop I really liked. Right, dude who cut me, his name is Mort. Really liked him. He was really good. But right, so I go in one week, and they've got like this big ass flat screen TV that everybody's watching, right?
Yep.
And in the barbershop,
You know where this is going.
Right? And so I come back 2 weeks later. I get my hair cut every 2 weeks. I come back and I'm like, "Hey, what happened to the TV?" And he's like, "I don't know. Somebody took it, right? It's just gone."
The game. Yeah.
And then on top of that, the and this is so we're gonna take the story down a little bit. So that at least was funny, right? But and then I come back 2 weeks later, and the chair next to me has like flowers and balloons all on it, and I'm like, what happened? And they're like, well, somebody killed him, but we
Yeah,
gotta
that
open.
shit's
But then he's like, we got an opening now, and I'm like,
Jesus, the
It's-
game,
right?
the game is the
And that-
game. Man.
yeah, I'm like, man, these haircuts is dope though. But
Yeah.
I thought the story was going to flat screen is that y'all watch some bootleg movies or
that
dance
too, yeah.
TV. You got bro in the big ass binder full of DVDs in the corner.
Yeah.
That's my barbershop experience. And I'm trying to grow my hair out because I don't like getting haircuts. You know what I mean? I like getting lined up when I can.
Mhm.
But I'm a headband guy. I don't know. I can't spend too many hours in barbershops as a kid. I would have a haircut like at 2 p.m. I don't leave till 8. Why are we still
Yeah,
here?
seriously.
What are we doing? Like, why
Seriously.
am I still here? I'm too
crazy.
young for this.
But hey,
Yeah.
everybody, with this being Grapsody, with you spending your Saturday with us, so appreciate it. And we want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of the show, and there's a few ways you can be a part of the show. We've got our super chats, and you send us a super chat. We bring it up on screen. We read it. If you're willing to not have it up on the screen, we also have our Streamlabs platform known as Humper Chats. If you go to humperchats.com, and if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm in the process of bringing up said Humper Chats.
Humper chats.
Yep.
Thank y'all for doing that, y'all. Thanks for the Humper chats. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for being here early on a Saturday morning. It's
You could be anywhere on the internet, but you're here with
straight
us.
up,
You feel me?
straight up,
That's
straight
the
up.
good
There's a
shit
lot of
there.
choices, a lot of options, and you're here with the
And-
Grapsody boys.
We got a Humper Chat from Van Twinblade. It says, reminder that it's Glory Pro Anniversary 5 Sunday. If you're in STL, come see Tootie beat Trish Adora and Rohit get a spanking from Dan the Dad
Yeah.
because he's a bad boy.
Yeah.
So check out Glory Pro and
That Glory Pro show is going to be fire. AJ Gray, my homie's on there. Glory Pro always has phenomenal shows. They had a phenomenal moment last year with Tootie Land winning a championship there. A lot of great things have happened there. Great company. Check them out.
We also got some super chats. We've got Ryan says, Reg, you're a man of the people. You have to talk about it.
Talk about what?
A man Deontay says, dudes with the heat that can't be beat, men of the hour, too sweet, never sour, happy Black History Month, best place to be on Saturday. Keep y'all head on keep y'all head so I can see y'all smile. Stay warm out there, y'all.
Appreciate you, bro.
Happy Black History Month. This is the first Grapsody episode of Black History Month, ain't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out
It
to
is.
Black
Shout out to
History.
us.
Damn, that's what's up. And we don't even have a Black History Wrestler of the Month, Wrestler of the Week, or anything set up. We're awful. We're terrible. Now it is Too Cold Scorpio. Shout out to Too Cold Scorpio,
Off the top.
the greatest. In my opinion, I made a list, 500 best Black wrestlers of all time. Number one, people were like, why'd you put him number one? It's because it's Too Cold Scorpio. He represented in 4 generations, it feels like, of pro wrestling now. And he's still at the top of the game, still tearing it down every single weekend on every single shows. There's some shows coming up this month, some Black shows that he's on, and he's going to tear it down. Too Cold Scorpio, the greatest of all times.
There was
Man.
nobody I found cooler as a kid, especially when he debuted that music video on WCW back in the day. He had all the kids following him. I wanted to be one of them kids.
Man, please let me be one of those
Man.
little kids. Throw me the ball, Too Cold Scorpio. Please.
Shout out to Too Cold, man. One of the highlights of that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, when my man said he was on his
Yeah.
way out with the eye, I was like, yo,
Yeah.
yo, hold on,
Yeah,
man.
he wasn't messing around, man. He gave Hawk the 2-piece, the 4-piece, and the 8-piece, and they were like, "Well, Hawk wasn't going for it. If Hawk would have went for it, it would have been even worse, bro. Come on,
You
what you talking
would have
about?
had some sides and a drink with that. You got the whole meal.
I'm saying,
Yeah, we got That's Awesome Al says, my favorite podcasters.
hey, appreciate you, Al. That's dope.
We
There's a
got
lot of podcasters. Jeez,
Yeah.
Louise.
Van Twinblade said, St. Louis summers suck. It'll be 80 and feels like 95.
Oh boy, I
Uh,
need some of that right now, man.
Yo,
It's cold
I
as
don't know
hell.
what it was, but St. Louis was freezing. It seemed like it was colder there than it is here. I don't know why.
I want to go to
Yeah,
St. Louis. Seems
St.
nice
Louis.
over there.
Yeah, we were in St. Louis, of course. I guess this is a good time to talk about that. We were in
Yeah.
St. Louis last week.
Yes.
We went to the Royal Rumble, and it was cold. It was real cold. Shout out to Hannah Moore who picked me up from the airport, and actually let me do Grapsody from her hotel. We talked about how crazy she was about the cold last week. One of the funny things, though, was that just waiting outside for her to show up, it was so cold. And again, like I said, I'm from Colorado. It was it's currently 41. It's not bad. But like day before yesterday, it was like negative 17.
Negative.
So
What does that
yeah.
even mean? I don't even know what that is.
That's
That
when
is-
your knees start getting cold to your jeans.
What?
Yeah,
That's what
that's that cold where if I'm ever outside and it's that cold and I try to come inside, like right now I could probably get my wedding ring off pretty easily, but like if it's that cold, it like my fingers swell up so much I can't. It's like
Bro, that's
like,
crazy.
they won't even move.
Imagine
That's
your
how bad it
pants
is.
having to thaw. That's how.
What?
cold it is.
Yes.
The pants gotta thaw.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm used to 50 degrees. It's 50 degrees in California, and we're like, yo, it's freezing out here. What
50
are you guys
degrees.
doing? Yeah,
50
I'm like,
degrees,
is
bro.
barbecue
That's so-
weather. Let's pull out the grill. We ride with the top down. That's what 50 degrees mean to me. I dream of 50-degree weather sometimes. I can't wait. It happened recently. It was 43. I walked, I was sweating in the Sherpa, sun out, then we got a blizzard. It was kind of crazy.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
Oh yeah. You guys got it like bad. I was seeing. I saw some parts of Michigan. Like I don't know where you are on the hand, but or on the mitten.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look at this.
We over here.
Because
We over here with
The
it.
D.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that. I know I saw some parts of like Central Michigan were getting like 20 inches.
Oh yeah, they're getting it worse than we were though.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it was bad.
That's scary, man. Everybody, all y'all got some snow recently, huh?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Phil in Chicago ended up not going to Dynamite because of the snow.
Jeez.
Nah, I was not going out in that snow, man. Kudos to everybody that went. I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, no, they showed up. They really did show up for that. I was tweeting earlier. Everybody saw like, yo, I don't know if they're gonna have a crowd tonight, and the crowd was like, yo, shut up, we're done, we're out here. we do not care about this snow. We about to see CM Punk and MJF. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they cleaned up. But yeah, we went to the Rumble this past weekend, and
Lucky
man.
y'all.
Okay.
Indeed.
No sarcasm.
Look,
How about that?
I've really had to give it some thought, but I don't know about you, Phil. You've been to a lot of shows too. That is probably the worst major show I've ever been to.
It might be. I will say that I did get enjoyment because people know I'm a Rollins fan, and so I did get enjoyment of him not only coming out to the Shield theme, but he came down the aisle that we were in.
Yeah, he's like right next to us.
He was like right next to us, and he kind of stole the show. I felt like he was the best part of the show, and so for weeks I've been saying like, man, make this a WrestleMania match. I feel like he's doing stuff, in my opinion, that's more entertaining than Roman.
Yep.
And I feel like my point was proven in that moment. I was like, hey, make this the Mania match, and of course now we're getting not the
Mania match at all.
and another opponent that nobody let me not say nobody wants to see, but I don't want to see. But I feel like it was kind of downhill after that opener, and I don't know, man. There were parts of the Women's Rumble that I liked. Like the Right to Censorship was dope.
It was. Yeah.
I really
like
enjoyed
that.
Nikki jumping Molly Holly. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I like that. Mickey,
It was yeah.
Hardcore Country, that was
Yeah,
dope.
that was
Hardcore
cool.
Country. Man, big shout outs to Mickey.
Mhm.
That was dope. Yeah, I don't know. The men's rumble was kind of bland.
Holy
I do
don't
have
know.
I have
Almost.
two pieces of info though that I guess I'll drop here. One of them was that I talked to somebody in WWE about the Mickey stuff, and because I was like, you know what, that was really cool that they did all that, and they were like, yeah, but there were caveats to literally everything that we had to do with Mickey
Of
James.
course.
And once I say this, you won't notice it, because I was like, can I drop this on Grapsody? And they were like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. They're like, they won't know it came from me.
Scoops.
Scoopities.
He said the first thing was we were allowed to say Impact, but at no point could we say Impact Wrestling. He was like, they were really important distinction. It was like hammered in. Impact Wrestling could not be said. Impact Wrestling cannot be tagged on social media. You are not to say Impact Wrestling, solely Impact. Which, again, I don't know how much of a difference that makes. But because at the end of the day, people can still search up Impact. But it is like the name of the company is not just Impact. The company is called Impact Wrestling. But it's one of those, we don't say wrestling. You don't say wrestling. This company is not called Impact Wrestling. You're not going to refer to them as Impact Wrestling. And I thought that was a little interesting. And then the other thing was, and then it was like, we were also told, you don't use the word knockout. You don't use the word world. Even though the belt is called the Impact Knockouts World Championship, you don't use either of those words. And you are to specifically only refer to this belt as the Impact the Impact Women's Championship. Not Impact Wrestling Women's Championship, none of that. It is Impact Women's Championship. Despite the fact that that is not what it's called. But you don't use the word knockouts, you don't use the word world. And it was like, they were like, it wasn't just like a free range, like, hey, Impact gets this publicity kind of thing. It was like, yes, but we're going to make sure that there's some specific nomenclature that's used here that you can't with, and I just thought that was interesting. It's not necessarily a bad thing. That's WWE.
But wait, Will, weren't we told by Twitter that this relationship was more beneficial than AEW's relationship with Impact? I thought that's what we were told. Isn't that the narrative people were trying to run with?
Did one single person from that watch Impact this week? No. Did any of them hang on? No. All that shit they were talking didn't work. They were saying.
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know if it was supposed to necessarily be a relationship. Like I said, it
wasn't a relationship.
Right, because they were very specific in their wording, and I thought that was interesting. The other thing that I took away from this whole weekend, and maybe this is a knock on WWE, maybe it's not.
This definitely
I don't really
is.
care. And I don't. Here's the thing: I don't care, but it is an observation.
The shit's awful.
Amazing how much WWE is in its fandom is rooted in nostalgia. And being at this show really made me experience that, because I hadn't been to a WWE show in 3 years. And that's not to say that I was really like trying to do that. It was more so there was a pandemic. So I hadn't been to one since late 2019. I didn't go to one in 2020. I didn't go to one in 2021. And then finally in 2022, I went to a WWE show again. And first thing was, around our section at the Royal Rumble, there's guys dressed as Ric Flair, guys dressed as Macho Man Randy Savage. And, again, I was just paying attention to little things. The guy behind me was talking about all his experiences with wrestling, and he was like, I remember WrestleMania 6 and all of that, and growing up with it, and blah 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 blah. And like, I was just starting to pay attention to all these little things that people were saying.
Don't do that.
And while I was at the airport,
we're old over here, okay? X?
While I was at the airport, there was a guy in an Ultimate Warrior shirt, getting on my flight. And then he's across the aisle, and he was like, "Oh, nice Warrior shirt," to this guy across the aisle. And the other guy was like, "Hey, check out what I dressed up as." And he shows his pictures from the Rumble, and he was like, "Yeah, I dressed up as Papa Shango." And then I was thinking after that, my brain went to when Phil and I were sitting there. Phil noticed they were advertising a shirt on the Titantron for Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was a Royal Rumble Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's not at the Rumble at all.
Hasn't wrestled in almost 20 years, bro.
Yeah, and so we're advertising Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. And then, and when I say nostalgia, I even mean like recent nostalgia. Like Sami Zayn hits the ring in the Royal Rumble, and the crowd chants, "Ole, ole, ole, ole." And I thought, that has not been Sami Zayn in like 5 years. He's actually been a heel for 5 years. He turned in 2017. I thought, right?
I was there for that. I'm like, damn, really? I forgot I was at that pay-per-view when it did.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell, right? Yeah,
that show's kind of like, oh yeah.
That was 5 years ago, though. And but again, nostalgia. And one of the biggest pops of the night was for Johnny Knoxville. Like the second that music hit, like everybody lit up. But all of the modern acts, somebody in our section said the words, "Who is that?" when Austin Theory came out. And I thought, that is a man that's on TV every week. But
nobody recognized his theme song.
But you're right, nobody recognized his theme song, but I also think there's a lot of people who just didn't recognize him. There were CM Punk chants in the arena during the Edge match, during the mixed tag match. There were CM Punk chants. And I thought, wow, like everything about this feels like 2014. Like everything that's happening right now. And I was like, he's literally in another company. Like, you don't have the chant for him anymore in WWE events. He literally is wrestling right now, wrestling this Wednesday. And you can see it. But
you know what? Everything you're describing right now is when I kind of had this moment that you're having is when I started going to the Raw after WrestleMania. And when it turned into, it stopped being about the wrestling. Anytime it's not about the wrestling for me, as you guys know, I'm out. So like when it's about the crowd, I'm like, what are y'all? I do not care about beach balls. I don't care about y'all dumbass fans. I don't care about this nostalgia.
When
I don't care about anything.
We are awesome. I was done.
I was done. Bro. That's when I was like I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. We are awesome. You're awful. I'm out of here. This is the worst show I've ever seen. What are you guys even talking about? Like we can't get to this point. We can't get to where it's all about us because motherfucker, it ain't about us. I don't care about us. I'm here to see them. I ain't here to see us. I'm us. Why would I want to see us? So like, yeah, when it became that big spectacle, and then after a while, I started going to Mania Weekend and stopped going to that show because it was just like, this isn't even, it's not even fun for me. I can see why people would see that, think that's fun, but it's mostly just like drunk fans trying to get themselves over and like, I don't have time for this, dude. I don't care about this shit.
It's the worst part about going to wrestling shows, honestly. I can't stand it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just, by the end, I realized though that like a lot of the fandom right now is very centered around what I remember from my childhood.
Right.
And
but they
not a whole
conditioned
lot-
them for that. That's why I can't be super mad.
Right,
Like,
I'm not-
WWE caused this.
Right, I'm not necessarily saying that it's the fans' fault, but I am
Right.
saying that it's just a thing, right? Like
Mhm.
the only acts that got pops during the Rumble were acts that have either been around a long time, like Randy Orton got the biggest pop of the night, like easy. He
Hometown.
and yeah, his. I honestly forgot we were in his hometown
Right.
until it maybe took me like 5 minutes. Like honestly, his music hit, and I'm like, whoa, people really like Randy Orton
Man,
here.
there were
And
guys
then-
in front of us that really thought he was gonna win, and I was like,
Yeah.
guys, that ain't happening.
and people were like screaming, like as he's getting the RKO and Randy chants, and I'm like, man, people really like Randy Orton. And I look up and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in St. Louis right now. It took me way too long to realize where I was.
Right.
and
You're
that
like,
I was
what is going
surrounded-
on here? Why do these people like this guy so much? That doesn't,
It's
doesn't
kind of
make
crazy.
sense.
That still happens everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
dudes on Facebook who hasn't watched wrestling and it's forever. They're like, yeah, Randy. They spell Randy Orton wrong. Yeah, with the RKO. That's
Yeah,
about
no, the
DDT. Look
RK
at that RKO. No,
Legit. I think because of like viral things and moments, like when I used to work with children, they wouldn't even know what wrestling is, but they would know who John Cena was, not the wrestler, just like this guy, this character.
The meme, right? Yeah.
Just
The
the,
meme.
yelling of his name is John Cena. Like,
exactly. And then the RKO, like all of them knew what the
Mhm.
RKO is, and they
Right.
didn't know what wrestling was. So I'm like, these guys are on a different like cultural level due to like
Yeah.
that stuff.
But
Yeah.
it was like, if somebody had been around a while, like AJ Styles got to pop, things like that. But if it was like anybody, even with any semblance of recent history, nobody was getting reactions in the women's rumble, in the men's rumble. Like the women who were getting reactions were like when Holla Holla hit from Kelly Kelly.
I
It was
popped.
like, yeah, that big pop, right? But
I was a big Kelly Kelly.
Honestly,
Kelly.
honestly, I was singing along with it too, and I'm like, what am I doing here?
Mhm.
But
See, I forgot they announced a lot of those surprises, so I was like, "What? Oh
Okay.
shit! Oh, I was just popping."
That's
and
what's
I was
up.
like, "Oh, wait,
I guess
they
that's
did
a
the
benefit
whole
of not
thing."
watching. That's a benefit of not
Yeah.
watching every week, is you forget that they announced all these, so you could just it's a little bit
Man,
fresher.
there was a point where I thought I was gonna be the shocked guy on TV because when Shane actually threw Kevin Owens out, I was like,
Bro.
why? What is happening right now? What? I was like looking around like,
This
this is
is-
ridiculous.
AJ Styles got eliminated by Madcap Moss,
Yeah,
bro.
this is-
That's when I
yeah.
checked out. I was like, "Yeah,
I'm
I'm
done
out.
here. Yeah,
I'm
no more.
good.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Madcap.
Let me out, bro. That's
Yeah, they gave Madcap and Baron a heat moment, and I'm like, we gotta.
Yeah,
I don't know what
that-
y'all
I don't know
are-
what that was, but
what's going on.
but no,
Oh.
to Will's point, I feel like the crowd that goes to shows and the crowd outside of the internet bubble is
It's
just
so
so
different.
different.
Way
It's so
different.
It
different.
doesn't even
Yeah,
exist
way
to me.
different.
When I see
Right.
Twitter outrage, I'm like, what are we doing? Because it's
It's
not
not
gonna, it's
anything.
not low key gonna matter. Like I
Mhm.
understand and I get it, but at the end of the day, it's WWE. You're not
Yeah.
changing shit for real.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
If we're gonna like, I hear you, and that's it.
That's
they're
it.
not gonna do that.
and
if
there
you're
was
asking-
there was also one factor that WWE truly has, and like if you ever analyze, again, I love metrics of pro wrestling. I always will. I think Bill from WrestleTix does excellent work.
Yeah.
And I love his stuff. And one of the things I love about his numbers is he loves to put up the changes in numbers and the differences, and so you can see how much something sold in a day. And one of the things that WWE has that AEW does not in ticket sales is day of sales. And because it's been a long time since I have been to a show and haven't really done it in a time where I was also analyzing ticket sales. One of the things I hadn't really seen that in person, but at the airport, for example, I was waiting outside in the cold, and me and this guy were making small talk because there was a like a shelter that had a space heater in it, and so it was fucking cold. So I go and sit in the space heater, or sit with the space heater. The guy sitting next to me, and he's like, "What are you in town for?" And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, that's here in town." And he goes, he was like, "I think I'm gonna ask my brother if he wants to go." And he was, but he was like, I used to watch this when I was a kid, and he's like, I think I might go. And so that was that, right? And it's really simple stuff like, oh, WWE's here, and I used to watch that when I was a kid. Sure, I'll go to that. And even after Phil left, there was this family waiting in the lobby, which was like 2:00 in the morning. I can't believe that little girl was still up. But there was this family waiting in the lobby, and Phil left, and my Uber I was still waiting on. And so, of course, I make small talk with them. It's a black family.
Man of the people.
I love making small talk with black people. Like, that's the thing I do, right? Like, and it was black family, and we were all just sitting around waiting, and I started talking to them and all that, and I asked them how they enjoyed the Rumble. And again, it was just like, we just decided to go. We just, it wasn't like we're like hardcore fans or anything like that. We just, we saw it, and we're like, yeah, let's go. And they were like, yeah, we drove from Illinois and just decided we were going to go to the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
That was it. And they had never heard of any other pro wrestling. It was just like, it's just a thing, right? And I that's a lot of WWE fandom, that there's a lot of people who just go because it's a thing they know. And
that's something that they're lucky to still have, that they have that brand that's just like, WWE's in town, I'm going to go. I saw their advertisement on a bus, so I'm going to be there. So, that's legit how it works.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a fun experience on a level. It was cool to be there with a bunch of people I know, because usually when I go to wrestling, it's either like a handful of people I know that I'll see that just happenstance. Oh, hey, yo, what's up? It was cool to, experience certain things, just as a media dude, which is weird. But man,
media guy, big time. Mixie Boys was in the building, huh?
Mixie Boys was definitely in the building.
Damn.
The show itself wasn't good, but it was a cool experience. I mean, it was a good trip. Shout out to Nigeria, big gold belt, man.
Yeah, we hung out with Nigeria. We had sushi with Nigeria, and then we hung out. I swear, when you are starving, Papa John's Pizza hits the spot. And after the show, shout out to Issa.
That's the dude that ate 40 pizzas in 30 nights or whatever. Is that the same Papa John's?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Shout out to Issa, Wrestling Inc., and also just Twitter fame in general. We were all hanging out after the show. It was Nigeria, it was Issa, it was Hannah. Louis Dangor,
the most controversial man in Twitter.
Yes.
Louis Dangor was in the building.
Louis Dangor, Sean Ross Sapp. We were all just kind of hanging out. After the show, and Issa's like, I'm gonna just order Papa John's, and it'll be here in a minute. And I swear, I didn't eat anything during the Rumble. When that Papa John's showed up, man, that was so good. That was like, it was a reminder, honestly, that
it was better than the show.
It was a reminder that there is no bad pizza. Like, that's the saying.
That is a lie. No, I'm gonna stop you right there. That is a lie.
Ain't no such thing as bad pizza.
There is absolutely bad pizza.
I want to stop this conversation because I know people about to start talking about one of my favorite chains. I don't even want to get there. I'm gonna side with Will Watch. There's
the
no bad
homies
pizza.
almost lightweight sponsored by him, so we cannot disrespect. Go ahead and let them know what your favorite little pizza chain is and who you represent for, X.
Pizza. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little Caesars guy. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. My man gave the whole slogan.
Caesar. I dressed up as Little Caesar for a Halloween Red Wings game, bro. At Little Caesars Arena. Those are my guys.
Game. I'm telling you, man.
No, ain't no bad pizza, especially when you're hungry. No, I'm sorry. Man.
That is actually a big lie. I was vegan for a while, and I can introduce you to the worst pizza you've ever had in your entire.
I was vegan for a while. Wait a minute. Wait.
Stop, man, I gotta eat some meat, man.
No, my wife she's got dietary restrictions, so diet pizza is a regular thing in my house. That shit sucks, but you know what? It still hits the spot.
Diet pizza is so funny, bro.
These words do not reflect Phil Lindsay, Chicago pizza eater that knows better than that there is terrible pizza in this world.
Can't say
Nah,
talk about
man.
pizza with somebody from Chicago. Detroit has pizza too, don't they? Aren't they known for their
Detroit style pizza is
yeah.
the deep dish. But I mean, not Chicago. There's a different deep dish, but ours is square. I don't want to offend. I know.
But
I know
ours is square.
We have the square joints with the, you know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
X, I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I need this answer for me because I travel to Michigan a lot because that's where my wife's family's
I
from.
think I know where we about to head. If we
All
talking
right,
about
let's-
food,
Yeah,
think I
so
hear
I
what
need
you-
a question answer because I don't fucking know.
Uh-huh.
So every time I go to a Coney Island,
yes,
some-
sir.
somebody asks me, well, I say, let me get a Coney, and they say Detroit or Flint, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Flint? I think. Okay. I've never been to Flint, so
Mhm.
but if I remember correctly from my childhood, I think they call those like loose. I don't know. I'm not even going to give wrong opinion, but I think
You trying to get loose squares? What's going on?
Loose
Yeah,
burger or
that
some shit like that, where it's just
But-
like the
but-
meat sauce and bread or something.
Like, I don't know, but like, first off, y'all got Coney Islands on like every corner, and y'all use weird phrasing for stuff. By the way, there's two phrases from Michiganders that I
Yes, sir.
don't understand at all. But like, first off, everybody I know refers to sliding glass doors as a door wall. What the hell is it? And
I've
like,
never heard that one.
so I had to look it up,
door
right?
wall.
I had to look that up, and apparently, it's a brand name of sliding glass door from like
That
from like
makes
Wallside or something like that.
Okay.
And, but I guess,
okay.
but Wallside only exists in Michigan, and so therefore, there's like a whole generation of people who are just like, yeah, open the door wall, and I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
a door
that
wall?
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you said that, it does. I heard it, but I never like heard it loosely in conversation. It's just,
I
like,
hear that
normal.
all the time.
Yeah.
The other one too is party store. I like somebody was like, hey, just run to the party store, and I'm like Party City?
Who the fuck is knocking on
Oh.
my door?
This
yeah,
is
I
how
was
we do it
it's-
on
it's
Grab
pizza.
City, baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pizza,
it's
pizza.
No? I'm curious.
They're
I'm
like, it was a
watching. What's going on
delivery.
here?
My fault, yeah. Somebody knocking on my damn window right there.
Pizza.
It's definitely pizza.
Uh,
If it's a Little Caesars pizza, we are out of here, man. This
Yeah.
is just
Hey,
outta
product
here, bro.
placement, and we just can't.
Hey, but let's read some super chats.
Yeah,
while
pull
we're
up a
here.
couple of super
Yeah, we
chats.
got John says, "Hey guys, MJF Punk put together another example how easy it is to create a new star. Royal Rumble showed how little stars WWE currently has on its roster.
Yeah, showed how to do the opposite of that by just showing their old stars love
I-
and
I-
letting
I-
their son throw out great superstars.
I will say that the stars that matter kind of shined, and then they didn't get the wins. Like I said, Rollins
Right.
looked great, and then Rollins lost in a weird DQ finish. Sasha Banks looked like a
Oh,
massive
that's
star.
okay. Hey, that's okay on the DQ finish, right? Because they're gonna follow up on that like
Yeah.
very quickly. There's, the next pay per view is gonna. I'm
No.
sorry, I'm being told in my
Yep.
producer's headset. Hold on, hold on.
Not happening.
Okay, I've been told that there's no follow up at all. We're just
Nope.
moving on. The DQ
Yep.
was the end.
That was it. That's
Yeah.
all you can see, and that's what's happening. Yeah, and like AJ Styles had a great showing in the Royal Rumble, and like they gave it up for a couple people, but it was just like all for nothing when you
Yeah.
just burn it to the ground at the end.
Yep. Hey, Rob says X3 happy flatliner month.
Boom.
Yep, African suplex as I've decided to tell it. We got Bill says, did you guys catch the Eddie Kingston interview on Wrestle Talk yesterday? Great interview. Sending love from the UK. Keep up the great work, guys. I saw some snippets of it, but I haven't actually heard any. I haven't actually seen it in full. I've just seen little quotes here and there that have been
Right.
floating around social media. So I'll check that out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yep. Jester says, happy BHM. Kenny King showed up backstage at Impact. Give me King versus Bay.
No, Kenny King showed up
ASAP.
on stage, front stage at Impact a couple
Front
days
stage,
ago,
baby.
and
In ring.
he jumped Josh Alexander, joined the Honor Boys, or they have like an official name or something over there, but Ring of Honor is invading Impact Wrestling. They actually have a really cool angle going on over there.
Yep.
People should probably get there. They have some members of the Bullet Club. They have a lot going on actually
Hey,
right
man.
now.
Impact
Deanna just won the ROH Women's Championship. She like, it's lit. It's lightweight kind of lit.
Impact has actually been pretty good recently.
Honor
Yeah.
No More, that's their name. Yeah. Shout out
there
to
you go.
Honor No More. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
now that I got that unlimited.
My bad. It was What a family member popped up. I was like, I'm on a podcast right now.
That was definitely a black folks thing. To do.
Yeah,
Black families
Hanging
don't
on the
care.
window.
they
I
don't
was like,
care.
what
They
the
like, yo, what's up? And that's classic X too. Like these are the type of things that happens
My bad.
when this young man is in the building. He's
Anyway,
back.
but yeah, the party
Yeah.
store. Yeah, that's where we last saw. Party store, from what I know, is you go in there. It's pretty much like you get alcohol on the wall, but there's some.
Yeah.
There's like balloons, little. Just it's like a. I don't know how to really explain it. It's like
we
little-
Sounds like a party store.
But
Yeah.
but like when I heard when I first heard the term party store, I'm like I said, like a party city, like what are we just getting
Yeah.
decorations or some shit? And then they're like, nah, party store, you know, you get shit to party. Like you guys, like we just have liquor stores, right?
Right.
You guys
Exactly.
have- yeah, you guys have party stores where like where they sell liquor, they sell all the things you need to basically party.
everything. It's crazy, and it's like they're always like small little just. You know, it's there. We have liquor stores and party stores, and then sometimes
Right.
both. I don't know how it works. I don't get it.
Yeah.
That's
But
what's
the
up.
first time I heard the term party store, I had no idea what anybody was talking about. Like I said, I thought like I'm gonna just go get some. Yeah, what are we doing? We get decorations or some shit? But no, a party store. Yeah, Michigan. It's like its own little like country in a way. In
Yeah.
the same way that like Texas is, where like there's so much like little culture that just belongs to Detroit, and that whole area. Let's see. We got Douglas Johnson says, which minor wrestler are you looking forward to getting a deal done once they become 18?
That's I don't know, but
I don't understand that question.
I mean, I guess examples needed of wrestlers.
oh, I think he's
who-
talking about like how Billy Starks is like 17,
Right,
and
yeah.
how,
Wait,
like,
What was the question?
he's like, who's a wrestler that's not 18 that you want to get a deal when they turn 18? And I don't know too many wrestlers are that,
pretty
are
much
that
like
young. I don't know.
Like the future.
Oh,
of
Nick
wrestling,
Wayne.
kinda?
I'll say Nick Wayne. He's a young guy. He's on his way. He's dope. He's from the
Mia Friday. She's cool as hell.
Oh, Mia Friday,
She's
yeah.
cool. I've known her for a while because she used to follow the
Yeah.
content. I was like, oh,
Shout
shit, you
out.
wrestle now? That's good stuff. Yeah, she's cool as fuck. I'm pretty sure she's based out of Texas too.
Yeah,
Like-
I've seen her making a lot of noise recently. That's dope.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
I think she was the youngest wrestler in her like promotion to do. It was like she's like making history in her promotion right now.
Hmm Shout out to
let's
Mia
see.
Friday. She's black.
Hey, shout out
Yeah.
to Chris Mueller. Too Cold's moonsault leg drop was incredible.
Insane. He still does it sometimes, and he crushes guys. It seems horrible for the guy taking it, but shout out to Tuco Scorpio. Seems like
Nope.
it hurts.
Normhausen. Shout out to the Grapsity crew. What's good, fellas? Where do we get Keith Bearcat Lee?
Yeah,
I don't know about no Bearcat.
We ain't never
why
seen
you do that?
Probably,
We ain't never seen no
never. Yeah, we ain't gonna
Bearcat
never see
again.
that, yeah. That's gone forever. As far as Keith Lee, I don't know. Who could?
Yeah, who knows?
Could be anything. He just
Could
he's officially a free agent into the world, released from the chains, the shackle. Oh, can't say that because the internet goes crazy when
listen,
you
you
start quoting
dorks.
things.
My man quoted the Sith code, and you guys got weird about it.
Oh, but
Not
that's so
everything
weird.
relying to chains means slavery or prison,
Right.
guys.
He
Knock it
said the
off.
Force in the tweet. When were you hearing them talk about the Force? You was
Yeah, right,
Come
right.
on
And I'm
now.
like, how'd you get slavery from this? Just because, just
Said
like
the
Phil said,
Force,
anytime
bro.
you say chains out loud doesn't mean slavery, you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
everybody
man,
relax.
Harriet Tubman was talking about the Force. That was
That's what I'm saying. Like, Harriet Tubman was not rocking with Obi-Wan and all them, bro. What are we doing
Come
here,
on, man.
That's
He made a cool nerd reference, man. Let's
Right.
just relax, man.
Like he
Let him
was
get that
wearing
off.
what hat was he wearing? Like
He
Yeah,
he
he was wearing like a
wearing
wild hat. Wow, he was
Yeah.
wearing like a wild hat.
Brothers,
Yeah, my
Now,
man,
as far
like-
as musical taste, that's another conversation
first
to
off,
be had.
y'all- you
bye,
introduced
bye, bye.
So I had no idea.
Lucky
who that
you.
who that
Lucky
even was.
you.
But provide context, Reg.
Keith Lee put out a tweet saying that they were like asking him about his hip hop preferences, obviously, because you hear his theme and you see. Let's start off by saying I think Keith Lee's favorite genre of music is gospel music. So let's start there. Second of all, so he tweeted that his favorite rapper is Tom McDonald.
And that was like a year ago.
Yeah, this was like a year ago, but that doesn't change anything because Tom McDonald was awful a year ago. He was awful 2 years ago. He was awful
Tom
3 years ago.
McDonald.
Tom McDonald is like if Nazis had a favorite rapper, if Nazis listen to hip hop, they would listen to Tom McDonald. They would be like, Tom McDonald is the bar king. That's what type of rapper he is. He has like Make America Great
McDonald is the
Again
bar king.
songs. He has like Confederate flags in his video. He's flying around drinking Coors Light and shit. Awful content, terrible. No
I
one
had
should
never
listen
heard-
to this shit. Like,
I had never heard of Tom McDonald before.
What
Like
the
y'all
fuck?
talking about it on Twitter yesterday, and so I'm like, let me look up Tom McDonald, and I feel like I want like that 20 minutes. I want that 20 minutes of my life back.
Please.
There's no way I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Tom McDonald you are talking about.
yes.
Yo.
There's no way
Bro,
this is the guy.
that's the one guy.
This
That's
guy.
the one. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Hold up, you gotta show us. You gotta
That's
show us.
the guy, bro.
Show the audience who
That
we're talking
is
about.
the
And
guy.
this guy right here.
That guy,
Yep,
dude.
this
That's the guy, X. That guy. Just did you see that guy? Do
Yo.
you see that guy? Come on,
Hey
bro.
man, we love
That's
you,
your
Keith Lee.
favorite rap- I love Keith Lee. He's
We love you, Keith Lee, but
incredible,
I need an explanation on that one, bro.
Jeez,
Oh, man.
Louise, my guy.
like,
But also
when you
incredible
know-
in the ring, and I hope to see him somewhere very soon. Big contract, getting a big pop. We're
Like,
gonna
let me
ignore
tell
that.
you, when you know you got like kind of a whack answer on something like that,
Mhm.
just default, man. Just go with like just say Kendrick Lamar,
Or
and
just
then-
like say like Jay's, just say somebody from the past that everybody likes. It's way easier
yeah. There are easy default
than
answers
me
you can
being
give for that.
than
All you gotta
us
say
being
is
all
a little
sad.
bit of everything. That's all you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
say.
true.
A little bit of
That
everything.
represents, yeah.
I
no,
don't
that-
have the best music taste, but that look.
That's crazy. That's
Like I remember back in the day there was like John Cena when he was like solid in hip hop gimmick. He was interviewed by Josh Matthews, and Josh Matthews was like, "Who's your favorite rapper?" John Cena was like, "Cannabis," and Josh Matthews is like, "Who?" And he goes, and John's like, "Eminem." And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay. And like they just move on.
I
And it was
remember
one of
when
those things-
John Cena said cannabis. I was like, wait a second, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But John
And then-
Cena was listening to shit like that. Shout out to the Peacemaker, man. He was out here.
Wrestle Voice. Wrestle Voice says, God bless y'all, brothers. Black history is being made every day. I have
Yeah.
Scorpio up at the top, also with Ernie Ladd, Junkyard Dog, and Bad News Brown.
The big
shout
cat,
out
the
to
big dog.
Butch Reed as well. I've been making
Man.
these Black history posts every day, just
Mm-hmm.
moments from Black wrestling history that or celebrating milestones from Black wrestling history. I've been posting them every single day. Today I did post the Nation of Domination. I can't wait for one of them. I guess I'll let Grapsody viewers and listeners in on what it's going to be. But Rock beating Hogan is Black history, and
Definitely.
therefore,
Definitely.
Definitely.
I already have the picture prepared. And I'm
At least
excited
blur
for that
Terry's face out or something. Like,
Oh
help
no
us
no
out
no!
a bit.
No, because Hogan being beaten.
Ooh.
It's not Rock versus Hogan. It's Rock beating Hogan.
Yeah, that was a big
At-
moment.
history.
At
Big moment.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
At
big
WrestleMania.
moment. That it's I hate that yellow, orange skin, leather having motherfucker. But that match is incredible. That is pro wrestling history, Black wrestling history, and you forever has to. It's here. You know, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
Undeniable. It should have
Even
been. It should have been Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, just because.
Honestly,
but
I don't think it should have. I think Austin, at the time, Austin had kind of lost a little bit of his star power, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it was because he was like fresh off the heel turn, and so he had only been a babyface.
this
again,
was
like,
how you were gonna bring him back. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but he had only been a babyface like 3 months at that point, right? And it was like, if you were going to tell the story of the star of today versus the star of yesterday, the star of today in 2002 was The Rock. It wasn't
Rock
Austin.
was a big fucking star. You're right.
Yeah, he was a big star, right? Like Austin, like maybe 2 years prior it would have been Austin, maybe even a year prior it was Austin. But at that point in time, it was The Rock. You know,
Right.
The Rock was the one who had guest hosted SNL. The Rock was the one who was getting, who was starring in The Scorpion King, and he had the movies coming out and all of that. And like
The Rock
Steve
is the
Austin-
one that's going to do an interview with Righteous Reg. It's going to be.
Hey,
I
man.
can't believe it's happening. That's going to be just so dope. Shout out to
Had
Hey,
the TV
Manifest-
show named after him?
yeah,
Young
Well,
Rock.
that-
We can talk about that. Rock,
No,
let's
we're
do it.
talking
That's
about-
my
you're talking
favorite
about-
Rock right there.
We're talking about SmackDown. Like SmackDown existed. Like yeah, that was at that
SmackDown.
point in 2002, The Rock was kind of the guy,
He was.
and so like I know in hindsight it's like well Austin was Austin of course was the guy of the Attitude Era, so it made sense
Yeah.
to have the Attitude Era versus the previous era. But really, it was rock.
It worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
regardless.
it did.
Yeah.
NWA Bad Blood says, shout out to my boys, keeping it popping on a Saturday. Phil, see you Wednesday.
Hey.
And Reg, I was up in Oakland last night.
Oaktown.
In LA for a show now. Boys, keep it lit.
Shout out to Bad Blood. That's dope. Appreciate you, bro.
Speaking of Oakland, speaking of the Bay Area,
The town.
a couple of other things to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Hey. So it's
Officially
now.
official.
It's official. All right. So AEW announced on Tuesday, and I was counting down, right? Because like Mikey Ruckus let me in on when it was all dropping, where he's like, "Hey, noon. All the info about the AEW album is gonna be public. We're doing the press release, all of that." So I'm like counting down the minutes. I'm like, "All right, it's gonna be official. Everybody knows what songs we all did, and it dropped." I was happy because like Graham kept that like a secret, like completely. He didn't tell nobody. So the fact that he was on the album, shout out Graham, Public Enemies. But all the tracks are out. It's official. The Bootsy Collins news wasn't out there at all, and I've been like you guys knew, but like I was just biting my tongue on the fact that Bootsy Collins.
I
does the
still
intro on
can't
the
even.
album.
But I can't believe it. Like it still
Yeah.
hasn't processed in my brain that Bootsy Collins is introing this album. It's like,
Yeah,
what are you even? Anytime I hear it out loud, I'm like, what? That's not real. Come on,
and
that's
then
crazy.
on top of that, Bootsy Collins is intro on the AEW album, and then on top of that, the part that really gets me is that the first track after the intro is a song called "In the Mix."
Wow.
It features Josiah Williams. It features Equipped. It features Cutright, and it is produced by your boy. It is Red Velvet's track.
Kicking the album
Yes,
off,
sir.
starting the
Album
show.
off.
Mr.
Everybody
Will
here-
Washington.
Everybody here has heard that track, and that is like one of those like. I mean, I feel pressure, right? Because I was not sure how that track would be received. I will tell you that after it was done, I basically just waited to hear back from Red Velvet. Like, does she love it? Does she hate it? I don't know, but like, and then when she was like, "This is really good. I love it," I'm like, "Okay, thank you." But you know, I just it's the first track people are gonna hear is the track
It's
I
crazy.
did in the
when
mix.
they press play, it's
Um,
gonna be
Yeah,
the sounds of Will Washington. That's crazy, man.
straight out your mama's kitchen.
Yeah,
Uh,
we cooking up, man. It's been a journey. They announced I'm on a track with Montezi, Anthony King, and produced by Rich Latta, Jade Cargill, the Jade Cargill story.
That was what was
Um,
being hinted at last week. by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
kind of hinted at it last week because, of course, originally. So what happened is they announced everything. They announced it. Mikey Ruckus sent me a beat. I rapped, wrote it down, sent it. I was about to send it over. We did the podcast with Montezi. When the podcast was over that same day, Montezi was like, "Hey, that song that we did, it's scrapped. Throw it out. It's not happening.
Dang.
We're actually gonna do it in a whole different direction." So he sent me the different beat, and at first I was like, I did like Righteous Reg doesn't do this. Like, you know, like
one take Reg, bro.
yeah, I mean, when you hear a Righteous Reg song, it sounds like, you know, you're gonna
Yeah.
know what it is. So it was like entirely out of my comfort zone. So for a day, I was like, maybe I can't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I should just hit Ruckus up and be like, I can't be on this one. It's just not for me. So like I sat with it for a while, but then we talked about it. I got that Panda Express fucking
Yep.
fortune, and
Yeah,
the fortune was like,
and that changed
the
everything.
fortune was like,
And
bro.
Express Fortune, yo.
I mean, the fortune was like, yo, you're Righteous Reg. This is you. And so I got in there and I was like, you know what? Actually, so I listened to the beat again, and it's like, as a rapper, sometimes you have to listen to beats a couple times to really get what's going on there. The first time you hear something, you hear it completely different the third time than you heard it. That's just how this shit works. So I heard it again and I was like, oh, okay. And then so the verse that I had just like worked perfectly. It worked. And so when I was recording it, I was dancing, I was making it happen, and I knew that it was the right one. So this track is very special to me because I got out of my comfort zone, got to talk about Jade, who's a beautiful woman, and we interviewed her last week, and my eyes burn looking at her image because she's so beautiful and bright. So it's a very special moment here, man. It's I'm very happy to be a part of this process. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And then Of
Yes.
course, if an AEW album's coming out, you know what I'm doing here. Like, there's
Yeah,
only
it's gotta be-
one
I will
fucking
say-
reason that I'm in the game. The big powerhouse Hobbs. I said, they're like, well, this track is happening, this album is happening. What do you want to do? What do you think I want to do? Put me on the damn Powerhouse Hobbs song.
So honestly, so that was the two things. Was like with Red Velvet, when she sent me the list of songs that she was like, all right, I want something in this style. I'm like, ooh, that is all out of my element. And it was like, okay, I'm really proud of the song, but part of why I'm so proud of the Red Velvet track is because I had never done anything like that at
Exactly.
all. And it is very unique. It is very different from what I've ever done. And I'm really proud of that just because I'm like, I can't believe this sound came from me.
Right.
And so I'm really proud of that. On the other hand, the Hobbs track was like, hey, we're going to do, I want basically the stuff that you listened to in high school and the stuff that when I first got into making beats, it was the only type of beat I ever made. And
this one was also a different type of pressure because, like I've said on the show before, Will Hobbs is my friend. He has my phone number. So he was texting me almost every day, where's that song? What's happening with that song? What's up with that song? And so when he heard that we were going to do that song, he's like, the first thing he said is, it better be some bass shit. And so I was like,
and I'm like,
Ooh.
man, all I listened to in high school was Yuck Mouth, was JT the Big Figure, was I listened to a lot of Brother Lynch. I listened
Mac
to
Dre.
like that whole Mac Dre, of course.
Yeah.
That's all I was into in high school was Bay Area music. And when I got into making beats, that was the sound I wanted. And so when he said he wanted something Bay Area, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is my comfort zone. And but then I will say that and you'll hear it, but the fact that Graham comes through, he came through so clutch on that track.
you know what? See, there's another thing as rappers. So you rap, you release it to the world, and you hope that when it comes back, you don't get, like the other rapper doesn't take you to the fucking woodshed. And then sometimes you get the song back and the rapper took you to the fucking woodshed. Unfortunately, on a song about my big homie, but no, just kidding. Graham fucking murdered it.
Graham murdered that track.
He went off. He went crazy, and I loved how everything turned out. He went wild. I was like, listen to it, like, yo, this is exactly like what was needed for this track. Like, if it wouldn't have worked if it was just me. It needed like some Bay shit on it, and Graham came on and gave it exactly what it needed. It's perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to hear it. Yeah, so those are my two tracks. I did the Powerhouse Hobbs. The song is called Powerhouse. And then we got I did In the Mix, Red Velvet. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait for people to hear it.
The dope thing about those two tracks, the Red Velvet and the Jade track, is I think those are two, like, people aren't expecting like to dance or like, they're like, when you hear like hip wrestling, you're like, I know exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like some hard shit. But these two songs are like not that.
Yeah.
They represent the people that they are for,
Yep, I'm excited. Hey, we got Wrestle Voice says, in your opinion, is it an indictment on WWE's focus being elsewhere instead of building? What are they going to do in 5 to 10 years?
Money.
I don't know.
Same shit.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing the same thing in 5 years. It's gonna be worse, and they're gonna be making 5 times more money, so it's not gonna matter. Because I just saw I just was reading that the Royal Rumble was the highest watched Peacock show that they've ever had. Like, they did great numbers. Like, they're not, like, it's not getting worse. It's not getting worse for them. It's getting better. They're making more money. They're getting better deals. Like, this is it's not going
It's like
anywhere.
one of those, it's working type things. Like, no.
Exactly.
Like,
in their mind, they're like, we're making money. We're doing the right thing. We're going to continue with this.
And NWA Bad Blood followed up with the same thing. He says, man, we had the same convo on Monday, but my question, did you guys get on the Q4 call? WWE is making $1 billion in profit. Was that in profit or was that in revenue?
I don't know.
I know that was record revenue, but
Yeah, I didn't watch it either.
Yeah. Myron says, you're starving bad as a black man when you got to order Papa John's. Look, I didn't order it. Issa ordered it. But again, when you're hungry, like,
when you're hungry, anything hits, honestly.
Yeah. And then,
I mean, the homie's favorite pizza is Little Caesar. So
All right.
Max
You
says,
see why we have to bring up pizza again?
yeah.
Hey, yo,
Max says restaurant Pizza Hut greater than Domino's, greater than takeout pizza, greater than Papa John's.
Damn.
You're
Damn.
putting Papa John's over Little Caesars? That's
But
what
here's
you're
the thing
doing?
about all of that. First off, I don't give a fuck. All of that is pizza, and all of that sounds bomb. Like
yeah.
It's $5. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. It's hot and ready, bro. It's hot and it's ready. And here's the thing. I've noticed, I'm sorry to get on a low, but I've always noticed Little Caesar slander always come from motherfuckers not from here. You need to get it here where it's made with love sometimes. Some locations don't give a fuck. But
Depends.
here, you don't got no excuse. I was born into Little Caesars. That's
Right.
a Michigan thing. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you.
I know how to order you got to get butter and parm in that hoe. You
See.
feel me? Because you can't, it's levels to this shit.
Yeah,
bro.
there-
I don't know what the fuck y'all be eating. What do y'all be doing? Where
Hey,
do y'all
no,
get it? You know,
it's
where do y'all-
near and dear to my heart because in California, Little Caesars is a big thing too. So when we had kids parties, yo, pizzas are $5. Yo, get 30 of those motherfucking
Right,
pizzas
bro.
and pull up with them. It's cheap. Look, I spent $60 and I
First
got
off-
60 pizzas. I don't know how the math, but we got a bunch of pizza. You can get
You
it. It's
feel
from
me?
Little Caesars.
I got 2 kids, right? I have yet to have a party go by without Little Caesars pizza. This is what
I'm
we
saying,
do.
Clutch.
yo.
Yeah.
You know how many times in my childhood I had to go to events. I don't know people. I don't know what's going on, but I see them stack of boxes on. Ooh-wee. And
Listen.
I know sometimes they get the butter and parm on there. Sometimes people slide one. I don't know if y'all know the pizza trick, but when your box is getting empty and the other box is empty, you slide one on the empty box. So then you got the decoy box, got a little pizza under there. When it's all gone,
Yo.
yeah, isn't it crazy? Isn't that crazy, bro? Yeah. Now we
This
talking
guy,
my language,
I
man.
love it.
Come
Yo,
on.
I'm
He goes
gonna,
hard
I'm
for Little
gonna, I'm
Caesars.
gonna slide out of this conversation as a man that grew up in a pizza oasis. I do not
Yeah.
eat Little Caesars, bro.
It's not
Like
fair.
I just don't do it.
It's not fair, Phil. It's not fair. It's not fair. You're from Chicago with that bomb ass pizza.
Yeah. Kate says, I'm late. Love you, fellas. Keep that same energy. Thank you, Kate. We love you.
Kate, leave me alone. Don't add on that last part. Erase that.
Oh, I just
You didn't know, huh?
Yo.
That's
I
son
just
of a-
realized.
Can I just say that how
Yeah.
funny it is that she is doing this like big professional rapper gimmick, and she is rapping on a Blue Yeti
Unprofessional.
mic. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Why is
And
she rapping on the
nobody-
podcast
We're
mic?
talking
No
about
one in
from
the
the
world is
NXT
rapping
joint?
on
Like
that.
the-
Yeah, no one in
Nope.
the world's rapping on that.
Like he's rapping on the Blue Yeti.
She's rapping on one of those.
We
on the damn
on one
thing.
of these?
Yeah,
Wait,
she got one of them.
you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
she got one of them bad boys. Get the
Oh.
fuck
Why couldn't
outta
she be like a
here.
spot? Like a, you know what I'm saying? She look, when I saw clips, she over, you know what I'm saying? What made
They-
her get in the booth? What was that?
When,
Yo.
oh, horny. That's what made her get in the booth. Somebody super horny, and they were all over her social media, being like, "Damn, this bitch got a little, she thick."
If that's the case-
Paul gimmick. So they saw her old videos of whatever bullshit she was doing, and so in their mind, they thought, "Let's just do it on TV." They like that kind of shit. Remember when we fired the thing that fired the people that were doing this, and they liked it, and we didn't. We fucking fired everybody
got
that was doing
worse.
the nice thing they're doing. Let's do it but let's do it our way. Fucking awful. What the fuck is this bullshit, man? Honestly, we're not. No, we're done here. What the fuck? Don't do this to my genre. My genre does not deserve to be taken somewhere and fucking murdered. Don't murder my genre. We didn't deserve this, man. They
Taken to
helped
the
you out.
woodshed.
You fucking you just had the Migos. You have artists. You have hip hop artists on your fucking roster. Wale makes songs for you people. You have the way to do this. Carmelo Hayes is there. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but instead, you give us this bullshit. This lady
Hey, man.
came on talking about keep that same energy and she doesn't understand this business or what the fuck. I don't care what you're talking about. Stop this bullshit. Don't put this shit on fucking NXT. Why do we have to see gimmicks that we shouldn't be seeing? I don't want to see that person in real life. So why would I want to see them in a reality that I
Yo.
escape to?
All
This is
I know
bullshit.
is I saw some
They
people-
just had the Ollie J thing like 2 weeks ago. What the fuck are y'all doing, man? I know y'all like titties and ass, but I don't want to hear these bitches rapping. I'm sorry, big bro. They're awful. Put on somebody that can actually rap. Don't put on
Don't
this
even
bullshit.
do it at all.
Hey man,
What don't even do it at all?
I saw some Twitter response to this album that you guys are making. I saw some response to Bucks being on Complex and all this other stuff, and this conversation about, hey man, we're letting them take our culture and do that with that. Hey, I'm gonna just say to that, keep that same energy, keep that same energy.
We got a couple of Humber chats I want to read here. We got Matt says, I'm going to Mania
Bury
weekend.
me.
He said, I'm going to Mania weekend in Dallas, but doing anything but the WWE activities. Can't stand drunken wrestling fans. I mean, okay.
I'm sorry to tell you, you're doing Mania weekend.
That
You're still
is-
gonna
that
see
is-
a whole bunch of drunken wrestling fans.
I got a question, right? Because as I've mentioned, I've been in the same relationship 13 years. Shout out to my wife, Corey.
Hey,
Shout out to your wife.
Hey,
shout out
So-
love one time.
So, I have never been to a Mania weekend as a single person, but I have noticed that just as an outside observer, that these seem to be some wild ass weekends. I noticed. There's a side of it that I don't get to see, that I don't want to see, because I'm gonna be in some trouble. But I notice that when certain people talk about going to Mania weekend, that they're talking about some wild ass times that are about to take place, and I recognize I'm never gonna be a part of that. That's not me. I'm not that guy.
I'm right there with you, brother.
Yo,
right there
look, you
with
get
you.
a bunch of it's simple. You get a bunch of horny people together that interact on the timeline throughout the year, that have these relationships online. You see them in real life. Yo, sometimes they break down into, WrestleMania orgies. That's how these things happen.
That's
like
what it sounds
they
like.
are WrestleMania orgies. People, they say we're going to go to the show, we're going to have a good time, and then after the show, there's going to be another show. We're going to have a Survivor Series 5-on-5.
After wrestling,
Yeah.
I know it smelled crazy. in
Yo,
there,
X,
bro.
after
Oh
the
my
sweaty
God.
show, after the sweaty
Yo.
You're at
GCW
a
show,
wrestle-
bro.
and I get it.
Yeah.
Right? I get it.
Yeah.
But you're sitting at a WrestleMania.
And ain't nobody
You
taking a
gotta
shower, big
account-
bro. No
You
showers.
gotta account for kickoff show, main show. That's about 7 hours right there.
At
Travel. You
least.
already walking up
least.
to the event. You outside.
Bro, it's
the
like
screen.
nine hours minimum that you're
Man,
just
you on.
soaking.
The
Yeah,
degree
you're
don't
on.
be holding all that. You got to be reapplying that. That's
Yeah.
a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, look, my
Then
legs and back be
after-
hurting. My shirt's always sweaty, and like you've been outside
Oh
all
my
day,
God.
Hey, no, honestly though, shout
baking
out
in the sun.
to single people on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
Like,
do your
if you
thing.
do your thing, like if you're gonna get it, get it.
Look,
you
I'm
know?
single at
yeah.
WrestleMania this weekend. I might trying to be getting into some too, man. Holla at your boy. I don't know, like things are crazy out
Just
here. You know?
stupendous.
Come
you
on,
yo,
know?
Reg gonna be out here?
Yo, man, come on, it's right this Reg, your boy. Holler at me, man. We're
I'll-
gonna be in these streets as everybody wants to know. WrestleMania weekend they announced for the culture. I can't not be at for the culture.
One of these
That's
days, I'm gonna
the
pull
answer
up.
to
I've
this.
never been to a WrestleMania.
You have to, dude. You
I've
gotta
never been to
come,
WrestleMania
man.
weekend.
You're the dude.
Man,
You're
we
the
gotta
dude.
we gotta GoFundMe this, man. I wanna
Man, straight up.
It's
Yeah,
mainly
you gotta
because of my
experience
fear
that.
of flying planes. So like,
Yeah, no, I
I gotta
get
get
it.
over that
I get it.
first, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll do. And then financially, I'll.
So all the
Well-
stuff you go to, you drive. Like you were just in New York for GCW. How did you get out there? You drove?
train.
Train. Okay, yeah. No,
So
I'm
I
not
took
mad
a
at it.
train there, and then when I went to homecoming in Atlantic City, I took
Mhm.
a Greyhound. Greyhound
Oh,
was like
shit.
20 some hours. So people.
Oh
yell,
my
Yo, X,
god.
but for real though, I love like road trips. I love looking out the
Mhm.
windows and like
Yeah,
the
that's what's
scenery.
up.
But sometimes you going through shit, you don't see anything. But that's just, I just
Right.
still, even if it's an open road field, I still love seeing that shit. So
That's what's up.
let me ask you, X,
different
A
strokes,
train
man.
sounds way better than a Greyhound. I just
oh
want
my
to say
God,
that.
I loved
yeah.
it. I
Hey
love
man, Amtrak is alright sometimes.
Yeah,
Man.
definitely.
you know, I took a Greyhound one time to a wrestling show. Woke up and my phone was not on me anymore.
Oh,
and
yikes. Yeah,
I
you
was
can't go
like-
to sleep.
No, here was the worst part too. I was hounding everybody. I'm like, we ain't stopped. Somebody on this plane. I'm like, somebody.
Yo,
like, we ain't stopped nowhere. So I'm like, somebody.
Will Washington
on-
turn this fucking Wesley Snipes or something.
Yeah,
like,
I turned the
everybody
fucking
put
place
their
upside
hands
down.
up.
And the worst part, I never got my phone. Nobody pressed up to it. I'm like, you mean to tell me none of y'all saw somebody lift my phone up off me?
Nope, didn't see
Uh-huh.
nothing.
Nobody. somebody took my phone off me. Somebody has it right now, and I'm like, I know somebody has it.
You know
right
what
now
kind of characters be on the Greyhound? They not snitching. They not like
Yeah.
Nia
Man,
Jax on.
honestly,
There ain't no Nia Jax. Zero Nia
There ain't no
Jax
Nia Jax on the Greyhound.
Zero. No
I'm like,
snitching
look.
over here, big bro.
Like somebody knows where my phone is because this bus has not stopped. So this ain't like somebody got off with and
Hey.
nobody. I was so mad, and I'm just sitting there resting the ride, just like arms crossed. I'm just like, man, somebody got my
Yeah.
phone, and I want my phone.
Yo,
A few years ago, I was on the Greyhound and I sat next to a guy who just got out of jail. Like, literally just fresh out. He was in there for, I want to say, at least 40 years. He was doing some
Oh
time.
my god.
He came out and he was sitting next to me. We were just talking, and because he killed a dude from.
yo,
Yo.
Yo.
But like, so
hey
I found.
now.
He's like, yeah, but like, he was like, yeah, I want to go to schools to teach kids to maybe don't fucking do that because I did that when I was 18. I'm an old ass man
Don't be
now.
like me.
Yeah,
like, I just wanted
wait,
to spread the
wait.
word.
How do you teach people not to do that? You just
Yeah,
like
he
stand
was-
at the front of the class.
Yeah,
you
he
stand at the
was
front of the
like-
class. You're just like, you see this? This
Yeah,
is a human.
don't do
Don't
that.
kill this.
Like,
Yeah.
he was like
Don't
saying,
have
like,
one of these guns. Don't do it. Just don't
He
carry
was
it.
just
Don't
trying
do
to
it.
spread knowledge to kids because he was like, he told me he wanted to change. Like his life changed, obviously. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm
Just like
not about
Genuine.
to, you know what I'm saying? Because he said he was like 18 when he got locked up. He was an old ass man talking to me. I was showing him how Snapchat works, how phones work. And he's like, yeah, I've
Damn.
never seen this shit. And all, I would just read books. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Well, wild stuff. Good- I would say good, you know, nice conversation.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
nice
yeah.
conversation for a 3-hour Greyhound. You know?
Right. That's crazy. Last time I did take a bus, my transmission went out on my car, so I didn't have a car for like 2 months or something stupid. And I was riding a bike. It was crazy. But it was when AEW had Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. So I ended up taking this thing called a Flix bus, which is almost essentially like a Greyhound bus
Yeah.
from Bakersfield to Vegas, and it was awful. But the Double or Nothing show was fun. I always think back to that, like, damn, I got to see AEW. That's the only AEW show I've been to so far because
Really? Okay.
they don't be over here. But yeah, that
They
show was
will
dope.
be really soon.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of rumors, a couple of things that I'll be seeing a lot of AEW very soon. Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
they've got the May dates to announce.
Yeah.
Yep, they're gonna be.
I might be
hitting up
back
the-
in Vegas for Double or Nothing again. Who knows?
Hey.
Oh, I'm definitely planning on being in Vegas.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, my brother-in-law, who shout out to him, but he's a very big gambler. He's like, oh, Vegas? You want to like get a room? I'll split it with you, and then you go do your wrestling thing, and I'll just hang
Go
out.
and
in
blow all my
Vegas."
money,
And I was
yeah.
like, yeah. I'm like, okay. But anyway, read a few more. Let's see. Rob, Party Store equals ABC Store. Eloquent says, since Mickey was in the Rumble, are folks checking Impact now or nah? Impact's been a great show lately. I mean,
Eloquent, they ain't, but the show
I
is
Probably
awesome.
would if they tagged him on social media.
I find it.
The people are lazy. If it's not a direct link, they're not searching.
Honestly, that's as someone
It's the
who's a
saddest
content
shit
creator, I
ever.
know that you know, like if it's
You-
not
if it's not
directly
right,
fed to them like a little
they
kid
don't
with the
care.
airplane, they are not. If I have to click 2 links to get somewhere, no.
Hey,
I need to
that's
see it
why
right here and
I
right
made
now.
I made sure in the title description of this episode that that X is tagged mainly because I was like, you know what? I'm not just gonna put his name. We got to make sure that he is tagged here so that way.
That's
I'll,
what's
I'll
up.
say something in the chat too, so y'all
Yeah.
can come over to the other channel.
And real
you
quick
know?
before we run out of time, because we be going, it kind of guide us through like how you come up with like one of them like wrestling TikToks. Like what goes to your brain where you're just like, all right, this is funny. I was just thinking about the one with your mom comes in and Rakishi's big ass is happening, and she's like,
some
trying
of
to
used to
turn
really
this
happen
up.
though.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
some of the stuff
exactly.
really happened. Like
Some
a
of
lot
it
of
is
my
real.
TikToks are like genuine stories from my childhood.
Mhm.
Other shit is I'll be in here just chilling and I'll do something goofy in my room. Like, you know, we will sing, dance something. I'll just try to act out a little joke here. Like, oh, I could kind of make that to a TikTok. It's just like,
Mm.
and then it's a lot of it's like kind of off the dome. So I'm recording and just trying to think what I could add to this and then
Right.
keep it going that way.
Mm.
So
That's dope.
Yeah.
sometimes
I love the
shock-
process.
I shock myself sometimes. I think cannabis for some things. Other
Mhm.
things are just natural. It's just I don't know.
I will say also your You know what? I have a new favorite that I got to move to the top, especially because so much of it happened. It even happened to my cousin Swerve. But talking about the you said Black Wrestler gets signed again.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it does the
My guy, shout out my guy Milbert Johnson one time. That's my fucking guy right there.
like
Millie Mill in the bill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of them are too real. Like that's
Yeah,
a too
like,
real one.
that one was like good, but then like when all of a sudden Isaiah Scott gets released, and I'm like,
Right.
damn,
Yeah.
like Shane
Too
Strickland
real.
got signed, became Isaiah
Man.
Scott, and that was it. Released within in his case, but yeah, so like that.
I just
that
do
one
want to
was-
say on record that Swerve is very funny. He's been saying a bunch of funny things all
Swerve
week. And
is-
it pretty much
seems like
since
a
he's been
funny guy,
released.
yeah.
Dude's
Seems like a funny
hilarious,
guy.
man. He's
Yeah,
so
no-
funny. Can't
no.
wait to see him back out there very, very, very soon. So
Yes.
let's go.
Let's go. Let's see. We're going to talk about this in just a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dante.
Yeah.
Eloquent said, "I'm still hurt."
Eloquent. Keith Lee messed us
Yeah.
up real good yesterday, man. We was all on our knees.
Yeah, because we got F. Tom McDonald.
No.
Kyriad says Tom McDonald's everything Eminem haters accuses him of being. Reggie
Honestly.
described it perfectly.
Honestly.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a bar right there. That's
Myron
that's
said-
a real bar.
McDonald looks like he smells like hot dog water.
Yeah, he, he's
Man, y'all in here cooking him up in them super chats, bro.
nasty. No, he's nasty, bro. For real, it's warranted.
And NWA Bad Blood talking about the album says, "Damn, that's hot." Will, good shit, bro. Red, shoot me a link to your music so I can showcase it on my podcast. Hashtag
RighteousReg.bandcamp.com. Everybody knows that's where you get the
Kate
best
Hensler says,
content.
"Next stop, Will and Mariah collab." Hey, she's already making an appearance on the show today. We
Will
got-
would never stop crying to make the beat in order
honestly,
to get there.
I would die if I could meet Miss Mariah Carey in person. Are you kidding me?
You never met her in person?
No.
Damn,
I've
they
been
don't
to-
have they don't have Pop Divas access where you could just pull up with get the little
Nah,
autograph
MC
from
I'll say
Mariah,
this.
little autograph from
I'll say this: there's a little bit of a crazy
Mandy
person
Moore or
inside of-
something. I don't know.
There's a crazy person inside of me that knows that MC vacations in Aspen, Colorado.
Okay, now
every
don't be being
Christmas.
a creeper now.
Yeah, I know, and I'm like,
Hold on now.
Relax.
Hold on.
I know,
I don't want to get no. I want to get no
Nuh-uh.
reports.
Because
Yeah.
she do not mess around. We know how she get down.
I
like,
know, right?
Security is tight.
No, but she's the goat. MC brought the shirt.
MC.
It's-
We still
it's
trying
actually-
to figure out
it's
her
actually
her
the butterfly
versus.
shirt.
We still trying to
Butterfly.
figure out her versus partner. It's just
That-
It's-
no.
Say
it's
ain't nobody.
too
Are
many,
you kidding
man.
me? Yeah, nobody. And yeah,
I
and
still
then we
think
got-
Janet might be able to be the one though.
Janet. I mean, I think it would be competitive, but I think the fact that Mariah's got
Listen to this
19
guy. Look at this
19's
guy.
got- hold on. First off, 19 number one hits, man. Nobody but the Beatles has 19 number one hits.
Janet Jackson.
Nobody.
Yeah. Wait a minute. He said Janet. He was like, man, it might be competitive. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he was
Look,
talking
I love-
crazy
look,
about
look,
Janet
I
Jackson.
love
big
Janet.
bro.
All right, love
Ooh,
Janet.
She just
like,
had her documentary. Fans are lit right now. For
like
Janet
my top
Jackson.
three are probably like Mariah, Beyonce, Janet. Like that's it, right?
Mm.
But I do recognize that Mariah Carey's got 19 number one hits.
Oh, Beyonce is definitely cleaning her up then, right?
I don't know.
Look at-
19 number one hits.
Be-
Nobody else has 19
yeah.
number one hits.
Okay.
Nobody.
Uh,
Nobody but the Beatles. No single artist has 19 number one hits. The Beatles have
So
20.
Mariah and the Beatles, that's the worst verses of all time. I don't want to see that.
Yo,
Let it be, let it be. No, man, get that shit off the
Yeah.
stage, man. I want to see something
Anyway, Ollie. No. I'm not
Stop
even
it.
gonna read
Please
that
Stop
out
it.
loud.
don't. I can't even.
Stop.
My eyes
Yeah.
couldn't even read the
Yeah.
entire thing.
Corey says this segment after Hit Row being fired truly set me off. 2 more weeks for Swerve though. Less than that. 11 days.
Oh, the countdown
then-
is on. We need to have one
Nah,
of them little Y2J TikTokers on.
I know who's counting, right? Ryan Sullivan says, "Yes, a Reg rant. My day is made."
Why do they do this to me? I don't
T.
want to see
Daniel
that
Barber,
shit. dude.
Reg, a
Come on,
band of-
man.
of the people?
They know how to
as-
get me too. First, they named a character after me that be doing flips and shit. I know they haven't said it officially. It hasn't been officially stated. No one's ever came, but I know that the character is based off me because I be talking
Yo.
so much shit. You named a character after your boy. He's out there doing flips and shit. He's cool. I like him. He used to be a thug. He used to be gangbanging for real. He used to be a crippin'. He used to be
did.
crippin'. So, I mean, I'm not going to disrespect the God. Shout out to the God. But I know what y'all did to me, and I know what you continue to do to me. Put me on blast on Monday Night Raw every week, running away from people and shit and fucking around with Dana Brooke. Like, what the fuck's going on here, man?
Speaking of which, Myron
Sure.
says, as much as that Nikita Lyons offended me, that BBC / Mandy Rose segment was
Wait,
just as awful.
What's
Uh,
going on?
who?
first day-
The what?
The
now?
what? The
First day
the
of
who?
Black
What?
History Month too. I only saw the gif
Wait.
of her landing in dude's lap and him like looking up like thank you.
What
I
are
didn't-
you guys talking about right
Yeah,
now?
hold on. What?
BBC Mandy Rose and she landed on his lap. I'm just. I
Hey,
must have
what
missed.
they doing over there, man?
Yeah, no,
What's
I must have
going
missed
on?
this episode of
Yeah,
NXT.
hey, and we got a couple of like I watched everything but NXT this week. Actually, I watched
Right.
Raw, watched I watched the Impact, and I watched Dynamite, Rampage. There's a few things to talk about there.
Yeah.
But Reg, are you coming to GCW in LA in 2 weeks? And Will Mania Week is crazier than Mardi
Dude.
Gras. It ain't for that single life, bro. Look,
It's busy. It's a busy February. I'm gonna be in LA on February the 17th at New Japan Strong. So yeah, that's the next time I'll be in LA. I don't know if I'm gonna be at that GCW show, but I might. It's fucking. They always do crazy cards. So, but there's so much going on in February, and I'm trying to save up now for WrestleMania. Maybe there's a lot of things going on. I'll just say that.
and Phil, you're trying to hit that New Japan show in Chicago.
I already bought my ticket, bro.
Damn, it's litty.
I will
That's
be
gonna be
there.
fire. They announced that Mox is gonna be in the building and everything. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah. Mac says, if I had only been on Wrestle Twitter when WrestleMania had been in the area and I was single.
Trying to get him in WrestleMania orgies, bro. That's
Yeah. We got a super sticker. Awesome.
Thank
Always
you.
love the super stickers. And another.
Appreciate
and then, Mad Genius says, Mary J. Blige gets Mariah out of here in a Versus.
I don't know about
I
that.
mean,
And then I want to read a couple of these Humper Chats because we
Yeah.
got some really good ones. Nico says, adding to the nostalgia convo, I think the Winged Eagle belt is an ugly belt design.
Whoa,
Says-
jumped out the window.
That said, so many fans consider it their favorite belt. So I have to wonder, do these fans think that design looks good, or does it just remind them of happier times? I am one of the few people who does
I'm
think,
not mad at
as
it.
you can see by my shelf, that I actually think the
That
Attitude
one?
Era belt
Okay.
is a better belt, and I do think that the Undisputed belt.
There we go. That's my
that's-
favorite one.
that's a
Yeah,
goat
that's
level
my
belt to
favorite
me.
belt too.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite belt.
That's right. That's how you and I became friends. X was you brought up the belt on like Twitter one day, and I
Oh,
told you I had to
shit.
go because you were like I needed to buy one off of. You were like, where can I get an Undisputed belt or something like that? And I was like, I went to a custom belt maker to get mine.
Oh, that was a while ago. Okay,
That's
I
a
do
long time
remember
ago.
that,
Yeah,
That's what's up.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds familiar as hell.
Yeah, that was a long
that's
time
before
ago.
they made the replica on their
yeah.
shop.
So because now they're making a replica, and it's an 8mm replica
Yeah.
too. It's a good one. But at the time, they were just making these little bullshit ass like 3mm
that was before I
ones
got
that.
suspended on Twitter. That's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was your first account. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then we got a really, really, really generous super chat donated to us, or Humper Chat, that says, massive fan of the podcast. And this is from in Congress. Sorry, I'm going to butcher that. But he says, glad I got to say I appreciate you in person to Will and Phil after Terminus. Reg, I hope to see you at Hood Slam in March.
You will.
And then D-Lo.
We on the streets for Hood Slam. Shout out to Hood Slam. Shout out to Dark
Oh,
Sheep.
yeah,
Shout
that
out
was
to
my
D
man.
Rogue. Shout out
That's-
to all my people.
That was my man that popped up at the end of the show to say what's up, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I
you, bro.
appreciate that, and I really appreciate the Humper Chat. And D'Lo says, "Tell him, Reg." And so look, we got.
call him like
I
I
know
see him.
we're an hour and a half into this show. We ain't even gotten into topics. We're gonna speed through these topics.
Oh, we have
because this-
topics?
Yeah, I know, right? So we're gonna spit. Look, we've been having fun conversation with X and reliving Royal Rumble weekend and all of that. We got a couple of topics that we're gonna get into, and we're just gonna speed through them, right? Because there goes the money. Shane McMahon, grand opening, grand closing, right? Shane McMahon returned for the Royal Rumble. Fightful Select dropped the report of everybody who was producing. Shane McMahon was not on the producers list, but everybody you talked to at WWE says Shane McMahon put together that Rumble. So he kind of fell on the sword for it. I heard from one person in particular who said that it seemed like, and you know what, kind of don't blame him, that Shane McMahon ain't watched WWE TV in over a year, and that was why he kind of missed every angle that was going on at the time. Like, they did all that build up to the Rumble with Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio, didn't even address it in the Royal Rumble at all. They weren't even in at the same time, I don't think.
Right.
No.
And so a lot of people were frustrated about how
it does make sense because AJ Styles got a big moment and Shane McMahon would totally book that, and it's like that doesn't even really align with what's going on right now. A lot of things didn't really align with what was going on at the moment.
Man,
it didn't seem like he was following the product at all. Everybody was like, "Oh man, can't wait for Shane McMahon to come in and confront Austin Theory," because Austin Theory said the stuff going on with Vince. Nothing. They weren't even there at the same time. Nothing.
Man, he don't want that. He's trying to book himself in a match with Rollins. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, he's like, I'm trying to reach for these stars, bro. I'm not trying to be down here with these newbies. I don't even know who that is. He probably didn't even know who Austin Theory is because I'm sure he hasn't watched the show.
On the names list. All right, there we go.
Yeah,
go out there and have fun, guys. That's what we're gonna do.
There's only one Austin that Shane McMahon fucks with, and it ain't that one.
He came back. He was like, I'm with Austin. Damn, that's dope. And they were like, Theory, and he was like, Theory.
I don't have a theory. I don't know. I don't watch the product. I don't have a theory about that. I
just think me and Steve Austin are gonna be great. They're like, okay, just go out there, Shane, have fun.
But yeah, so apparently Shane's ideas clashed with a lot of people's.
The bro tried to beat up Matt Riddle, an actual legit UFC fighter. He wants to mix it up.
He
succeeded.
He succeeded. He came in. He was throwing the punches at Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle selling him.
Dude, you can't.
And
Matt Riddle has
Shane
to
McMahon
no sell
punches.
that. You gotta get fired for this situation to no sell these
all I
awful
know,
punches.
It felt like that scene in Blow where they knew they were going to turn on him, and then the cops came in and everybody walked away, and the spotlight was just on my man. That's what it felt like. It felt like Shane was just sitting there sweating, like, "What happened? What's going on? Why y'all leaving?"
Yeah, definitely.
But Shane-O is out.
He's gone.
After that, he was supposed to work the Elimination Chamber, and then he was gonna work WrestleMania, and they were just like, nah.
Drats.
Shane McMahon, to me, it looks like Shane McMahon was a scapegoat. Everybody
Big
shit on
time
this.
scapegoat.
They were like, yo, Shane did it. They were like, Vince, this show was awful. That was the worst shit I ever seen. What happened there? And he's like, oh, it was my son. Fire him. He did it. Yeah, it was him. It wasn't me. I don't know. I was drinking some coffee.
On the table, I'll give you this amount if you just take the fall for this.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, I'm gonna need you to come through hey, Shane, I'm gonna need you to come through on Saturday and just take the heat, say that you're doing this, say that you're doing that, say that you're doing this, so everybody thinks you're doing this, and then when it goes to the shitter, I'm gonna fire you.
Yeah, he don't even get on social media, so he don't give a fuck.
He do not care.
You do not care.
His
son followed me on Twitter on my other account, but it was private, so I couldn't follow back.
Wow.
It's like, damn, I can't hang with the man one time. I'll spoil the shit over there. What's going on? I'll be cool. I won't.
Shane McMahon is in for a minute and out for a minute. Classic Shane McMahon. Every time he comes back, it's a quick little. He causes some ruckus. Everybody's like, "What the fuck happened?"
That's how it be.
And then he's
That's
out.
the guy.
Yeah,
You know what,
That's
though?
bad.
Because I don't hate Shane McMahon the way a lot of people do, because I actually think that Shane's stuff has delivered in ways that, I don't think the Undertaker match delivered. I was at that WrestleMania
Awful.
32. Awful.
Yeah, we
But
talked about it.
AJ Styles delivered, I thought.
Great match.
He gave us Raw Underground.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, him being involved in Daniel Bryan's first match back.
right.
Nah, I didn't need
Yeah,
that.
a couple times he missed the mark, but for the most part, he's always done big spots and big moments. And the really only thing is those damn punches is like that makes what he does not believable. But for the most part, it's kind of cool. It's like he'll do like a shooting star press, or he'll do like the Van Terminator from corner to corner. Like he's always trying to create a big moment. And this time
he
it
has
just
good
got
moments.
away from him. I don't
Now,
know.
I've seen, the obvious thing that people have thrown out. As a matter of fact, if you saw this week's Day After Dynamite, Theron was all over that. But he's like, "Hey, AEW signed Shane McMahon." No, don't sign Shane McMahon.
Please
And
don't.
why?
Don't do it. No.
And
Please
mainly, the only reason I'm against that is because I feel like Shane McMahon is a creative person in pro wrestling, but he is very much one of those kind of along the Vince Russo lines, just not as bad.
Exactly.
But Shane McMahon believes that wrestling succeeds with non-wrestling things.
Right.
And as a wrestling person, as somebody who just loves wrestling, I want to see like less of
Wrestling.
that. But you know, Shane McMahon and like some of that stuff has worked out, right? Where his idea, Floyd Mayweather at WrestleMania 24, that was Shane McMahon's idea of like, you know, bring in.
That was pretty hard though. I did like that. That was a
that's
good
how
one.
Shane operates,
Yeah,
right?
that was a good
He's
one.
always thinking outside. He's always like, okay, what's the biggest non-WWE thing we can
He
do?
was trying to buy back in. There's stories of him trying to buy ECW. There's story of him trying to buy UFC. Like he's always trying to do something like,
you know,
out of the box.
Raw Underground was legitimately his idea last year, and it was, and like, I get where he was coming from. It was one of those like, we need to spice up this boring ass show at the Performance Center. Like we can't just have a show where people are wrestling in a warehouse. No one's watching this. No one wants to watch this. We don't have a crowd. We need something. We need to do something a little different. So let's try Raw Underground, and that's where that came
Can I
from.
say something real quick about that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear, like, I know there was like headlines and shit about Raw Underground about to happen, and this is the time like I wasn't really watching Raw that much. I was like, let me see what Raw talking about. And they were saying like they didn't do like the promos or anything yet. It was like I missed the promo, so I was like, I'm about to go on the back porch, smoke a little bit, see a Raw come back. I come back and Shane's on TV. I was like, what the fuck is going? And everyone's just like, yeah, this is Raw Underground. I'm like, this is the best shit I've ever seen in my life. And then they got canceled. Like, why are we? What? That was like the last Raw happiness I had. And maybe it's because I was under influence. But you could have done a little bit more with it. You could have done just a little bit more with it.
Like it died. They died once the Thunderdome came along because it was, like I said, it was really just a supplement.
Yeah.
Like we need something because these Thunderdome or not the Thunderdome, the Performance Center shows aren't working. We need something, and then they brought in, they did Raw Underground for that. But like I said, that's Shane's go-to is like, what is the least
just random shenanigans?
What's the least wrestling thing we can do on a wrestling show? But it's still, but the difference between him and Russo is like, what's the least wrestling thing we can do? Let's have one of our wrestlers get pregnant, and then we'll do a whole like baby's father angle. Like that's what
like
we're gonna
Shane
do.
will still try to connect it back. Like Vince
Shane is
Russo's
still
like, no, let's leave the earth with our thing.
No, Shane's like, I still want it to be fight sports. I just want it to be less of the normal pro wrestling. Whereas, like I said, Vince Russo's
like, there's going to be an alien that comes in, and then it's like, bro, what?
I know, and that was the big difference between the two. Both of them are like, I feel like that's a lot of guys' ideas of like, how can we unwrestling wrestling? And that's part of why, in ways, I do very much appreciate when it's just like, hey, you really just want some good wrestling?
That's it.
Let's just do that. And when that hits, it hits.
They try to, I hate the guys that try to come in and turn it into like Maxim magazine. Like these guys like beer and they like titties and they like chips and they like, no, it's not like that, bro. I don't want to be, I don't want to be fed this bullshit ass product like
Hey man, Hook, he got them chips.
I mean, yes, Hook checked all those boxes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hey man, I mean, Shane's a good idea guy, but I feel like the idea of Shane as a performer kind of jumped the shark a long time ago because his character was always that he thinks he's the best wrestler in the world. He comes out, he does the work punches, he does like the fake rope-a-dope thing, and when he gets his comeuppance, that's the reward of it. That stopped being his character a long time ago, and people started believing like he's actually a good wrestler. No, the point was he's not a good wrestler. Like him beating Roman and him pinning actually good wrestlers, that's when it jumped the shark. Like he doesn't need to.
When he won that
wins over
trophy,
anybody.
the best in the world trophy, it's like, why are you?
I was thinking about it. Hey, Shane, free agent. Greg Hamilton, free agent. They should go on a best in the world tour.
Oh my god.
Yeah, go away from here. Go somewhere else. Take that shit.
I do think a
away
lot of people
from
were
here.
saying online like Shane McMahon could 1000% show up in GCW and it would be like
That's the only way it
crazy.
could work.
Yeah,
him
that's
and
the only
him and
way.
Cardona, that's
Right.
some shit.
That'll
That
be
would
crazy.
bad.
That would
Oh
be
my
crazy.
God.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'd rather that than him in AEW. Stay away from AEW. We don't need that shit over here.
I mean, I just honestly, I want AEW to succeed without ever having had the word McMahon attached, and so like that's what I would like to see. Speaking of which,
I don't like beer, but I do like Hennessy, titties, and chips. Just to confirm,
yes.
I hate beer, but Hennessy and titties and chips.
Yep.
Holler.
And so we also got Goldberg versus Roman, the match that was supposed to be. Hey, this is supposed to be the main event of WrestleMania 36, and now
Don't.
we
What's
are back.
the
WrestleMania 38.
What's
Or
the
sorry,
No.
return policy on that? I got
Yeah,
my speed if I want it.
uh-uh.
I don't think I want this item anymore.
So explain to me how this is going to work. Where does he play into this Brock Lesnar thing?
Put him in the dirt. That's what he need to do.
I don't know
Put
if
his
you
ass
watched,
down.
so
man.
I don't know if you watched SmackDown last night.
I did not.
Dang.
Hold on, ready for it? It doesn't. Literally, I liked so there are a couple of things I liked on SmackDown last night, in which Paul Heyman's explanation for everything, for why he turned on Brock at the Royal Rumble. I liked that a lot. I liked the explanation. He solely explained that he don't like current Brock. Ultimately,
Okay.
he was like with his stupid ponytail and his stupid beard coming out in his stupid flannels and smiling and dancing with his cowboy hats. Like that ain't Brock Lesnar to him. That ain't a dude he wants to endorse. And Brock came back and he was like, Brock could have just stayed on Raw, but the second Brock decided to challenge the Tribal Chief, that was when we had a problem. And he was like, there was no ruse. It was that I had the realization that I was on the wrong side when I was paired up with this goof of Brock Lesnar. And I thought, you know what?
I like it.
I thought, as Brock is trying to be the funny guy lately and all of that stuff, and fans are into it. Yeah, like logically, Paul Heyman's character would not want that at all. Paul Heyman's character wants the Beast. He wants, and he's like, who is this guy?
And he hasn't been the Beast. He hasn't been tearing through people. He's been
Yeah.
dancing and having fun. So it's
Yeah,
different.
and he's
Yeah,
like,
it's good
like what is,
explanation.
he's like,
I
what
like
is it? What is the ponytail? Like he called it stupid ponytail, and it's like, yes, this is how I would expect Paul Heyman to feel about all of this. I liked the logic of all of that, and he was like, you know what? I'm glad you've forgiven me, Roman. I have come back home. Ladies and gentlemen, acknowledge your tribal chief. I liked all of that, and then Goldberg's music hits, and and Goldberg literally just says, "You're next."
You are
And the match
lying
is
to
made.
me right now. Get out. No,
No cap,
you
bro.
can't.
That's what it
No.
was.
That's what it was. That was it.
Why am I
They
next?
they didn't explain nothing.
No.
He didn't even address. Like I was expecting him to at least go, "Hey, you were supposed to face me 2 years ago at WrestleMania, and you ducked me. Now, I owe you a receipt or something." Anything. Michael Cole did say that. Michael Cole, after Goldberg was just like, "You're next." After Goldberg said he dropped the mic, and then Michael Cole then goes, the match that was supposed to take place 2 years ago at WrestleMania is now taking place in Saudi Arabia at Elimination Chamber. Goldberg versus
Oh,
Roman
that's
Reigns.
good. I ain't gonna watch that
But-
shit.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But they didn't explain this at all. They did not explain why is Goldberg here. Why does Goldberg?
Why
get a
does
shot?
Goldberg keep getting to do this? Didn't he just lose his last
So
title
he
opportunity?
He
His
lo-
son
he's
got
lost-
beat up too.
Yeah, Bobby
He's
Lashley
here,
put his
bro.
boy up in the hurt lock.
Are you ready? He's lost his last 3 title shots. He lost,
But beat
to-
the Fiend though. That's
And
good.
he
title
don't
matches.
he don't
That's
get no
crazy.
he don't go through no number one contenders matches. He don't have to
Nothing.
fight for nothing. He just pull
Nope.
up and be like, "We fighting on Sunday. I'll see you then." And they're like,
lost
"Yeah, let's
to-
do it."
I guess he
Yeah.
technically won that last one actually, right? Because that was a DQ. So I guess because he faced Bobby for the title at SummerSlam last year. I guess he did win. He did walk out champion. He faced Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble last year for the WWE title, and then of course he lost to Braun Strowman 2 years ago. People forget that for the Universal title. And like he doesn't quite have a claim to a title match other than the fact that he had a match with Roman that was scheduled. That
He
never
has
happened.
no claim. Listen,
Nothing.
I watching that Rollins match, and I was sitting there at the time saying, "This is a terrible finish. You do this dumb DQ finish," and then I'm like, and then there were so many people going, "Oh, but he's gonna get the rematch at the Saudi show," and I was like, "Okay." Then they come out the next day and announce that for whatever reason Brock is getting a second title match, and then he's in that match. He's in an Elimination Chamber match. All right, so where does that leave Roman? Oh, we're gonna do the big match with Goldberg. It's like, why?
So,
Who wants to see that?
A couple of things too. So of course, it's also been rumored that Brock's probably going to win the Chamber, and
not a
that
rumor, it's
and the thing
real.
is, I can see that just based on the fact that if it weren't an elimination match, if it were one fall, then yeah, you could leave Brock out of it. But otherwise, I don't see them pinning Brock.
They're not
before
going to pin Brock Lesnar. No,
before
way.
WrestleMania.
No way.
When he's got the shot at WrestleMania.
They don't have somebody come through the damn grate like they did.
Yeah.
Man.
The Shawn Michaels and Undertaker.
Yeah.
So my question to all of that is, why did Big E lose the title?
Oh, because they're done with him. Like
But
you
so-
see it.
Duh.
But I'm saying that to say he lost the title just for them to just, hand it back and forth and just make Brock a 2-time champion?
Right.
Wasn't
That's
Rollins
pointless.
supposed to win that match anyway? before
Rollins was
Brock
supposed to
got-
win the championship. Yeah, he
Rollins was
But
the only person that earned a title match in that
Right.
match. He
Yeah.
got pushed to a second to second fiddle in a 5-man match. Then he lost. Then he basically won this match at Royal Rumble, and he doesn't get a title shot again. You go to
Right.
Goldberg. That doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
So Brock and the rumor right now is that they may possibly go with title for title. Brock versus Roman at WrestleMania.
Awful
So-
waffle.
And not just that though, but like when I saw the stat, my brain nearly exploded. But when somebody pointed out that if Brock wins at Elimination Chamber, literally every black champion in WWE history had their reign ended by Brock Lesnar. In that it was The Rock at SummerSlam 2002, Kofi Kingston in 2019, Big E at the beginning of 2022, and of course Bobby Lashley in the Elimination Chamber, if that's what happens.
Man, look.
There's no
I
way.
just don't look. We've got to get past this point where Brock or Goldberg is the big marquee match, because
It's not.
if you think that that's what it is, it feels like this is all very formulaic, and it makes it feel like nobody else is a priority other than those 3 guys.
Right.
And I mean, that says everything. That I was sitting watching Big E on SmackDown this week, and it just looked sad, man. He came out there with Kofi. They did the usual New Day stuff, and it was like, all right, well, that's it. We're just
But you could tell how little foresight was put into this, by the way, right? Like, I don't think there was any long-term, like, okay, we're going to put Big E back with the New Day. Because there's little things, right? Like, Big E's still wearing his solo gear. He don't have New Day gear. And then on top of that, the graphics are all still just Xavier and Kofi on their Tron. They haven't gone back to they don't even have graphics with this new set right now that have all 3 of them. So it's like, we're just seeing,
he didn't even do the intro.
yeah, he
Big
didn't do
E.
the intro. Like, there's
No
been
more,
very
man.
little planning.
Big
or foresight.
E,
Like,
damn, dude.
and it sucks to me because like Big E, a bunch of people jumped on it. I got a bunch of quote tweets that were trying to dunk on me for when Big E lost the title, and I was just like, I said, man, this man did everything right off WWE television, and I felt like the reign was just wrong on WWE television because he lost 7 times in that reign, even in times where he should have gotten pinfall victories. I said this a few weeks ago when he faced Kevin Owens in that cage match, but he's won by escape. He escaped through the door. Babyface should never be escaping through the door, especially when he has the match won. All right, like he had him beat with the big ending, just pin him. But it's like, oh, we don't want the visual of Big E pinning somebody, so like he goes and escapes through the door. Hated that. And I felt like so much was done wrong in his reign, but I had this thought in the back of my head as long as he retains, maybe it's not so bad. Then he doesn't retain. That sucked. And then he cuts the promo the next night on Raw where he's like, it's not the end for me. Big E will be back at the WWE title. And I'm like, I even thought...
no, you ain't.
I even thought...
Seriously.
I thought in my heart of hearts, I was like, okay, maybe he wins the Rumble and gets back to a WrestleMania. Not only did you not do that, they moved him to SmackDown where he can't even get back to the WWE title now. And he's like, has no problem with this. He's like, I just lost. I'm done. Like, he wasn't even... Matt Galloway pointed out to me how at the end of the match at day 1 when Big E got pinned, he was like, did you notice how... he was like, if you know anything about WWE, everything they do is deliberate. He was like, when Brock pinned Big E and then him and Bobby Lashley had the stare down, he was like, that to me was the message that we are done with Big E here. We're already moving on. Before this night is even over, we've moved on to Brock and Bobby Lashley.
That hurts,
And
man.
Listen, I said that night, and there, like you said, there were a lot of people trying to dunk in my mentions, and I was like, all right, well, let's let it play out, like you guys always try to tell me to do. And all right, here we are. He is back in a tag team, and man, when I look at it, it's like you could have handled that situation so much better. He could have held the title into Royal Rumble and lost it at Royal Rumble. Man, at least let that man main event a show on his own. He didn't get to main event a show until it was tied to Brock.
And not only that, you didn't even let him come out last in his own title match.
Yeah, I knew the writing was on the wall when he lost the belt at day one. I'm like, he's getting no revenge for this.
And all I wanted was, it's not even that I want to see Big E, like, I mean, it's like to say like a small dude or anything. This is not like it's like unreasonable. Like when people were like, you know, how can you see Kofi winning all the time when he's like a smaller wrestler? And it's like, maybe make that argument. Are you kidding me? Big E is a Big E.
Yeah.
This is a man who is like straight up power.
Yeah. And the thing that annoys me as well with this Goldberg thing, at this point, the only reason I want to see Goldberg come back is to give that man his dream match. Give Big E his match.
It's all you have to do is have Big E come out. You know, I get it, guys. Brock Lesnar came in, beat me, get it. I don't know what's next for Big E. Goldberg's catchphrase is "You're next." It's so fucking easy. That's the shit I hate about WWE. You have the easiest, most organic shit, and they go, you know, I want to put my hand in this. I want to overproduce this, and then I'm going to fuck it up.
Right.
You didn't even need Brock Lesnar to win the Rumble. You didn't even need that to continue the Roman story. You didn't need none of that shit.
I said the night of the Rumble, I said, man, the reason why Brock doesn't need to win a Rumble is because he can come out and at any time and just say, I want a title match. What did he do the next day? I want a title match. And they gave it to him.
Yep.
So we got so we had two main events that I want to talk about here. And again, people who don't like AEW are going to be mad at us for the fact that we just spent the last segment trashing what we're seeing going into WrestleMania, and then are going to come out talking about some positive shit.
Hey, man, sorry.
I was waiting on this topic, though.
All right, here we go. Positive WWE thing. Sasha Banks is great. That split was awesome. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that split.
They have nice camera. They have nice camera quality. I wouldn't say camera quality.
I liked how and then that shit was awful. I can't believe what they right before we leave, before we get off of this, Ronda Rousey is a lifeless robot. I don't know what they're doing here.
Hey,
this is
man,
just
that pop on
soulless.
That pop on Raw was hilarious. That woman, the way they hit the cheer dot file, but she was like mid sentence, and so like there wasn't room for it.
Soulless,
so
it's
good.
sad.
Look, okay, so we had main event on Dynamite this week. Saw CM Punk take on MJF. They wrestled 39 minutes.
Whoa! Look at CM Punk, 39 minis. Man, he's back in the game.
Man.
And Punk lost.
Yep.
In Chicago.
Twice. You get bodied twice in your
two
own
times in your own city,
crazy.
in front of your own people, 2 times.
I thought that part to me was interesting because like that's kind of an easy trope to do in pro wrestling. They literally did it with MJF and Chris Jericho and all that,
right? Where
you do the false finish and then you have the referee reverse it when they got the evidence and then you go with the other result. But to do it the same result twice, that's rarely been done. Where you've restarted that. I think I can remember. I think SummerSlam 09 had that finish as well, or something along those lines. But yeah, that's rare, and they did it. Because it happened early on in the match. Like we were maybe like 15 minutes in. We were maybe like 15 minutes in. I looked at the clock and I'm like, they got more to this show.
I'm like, there is no way. They should have. I'm gonna be honest with you. They should have ended it right there. Them boos when he just choked him out. That would have been fire.
I liked it.
I love Punk, but you should have just ended it right there.
Isn't the playoff as well how Punk won a match as well in ROH? Because I saw a clip of it where it was like side to side with how he won and how he got caught with the.
I see. I didn't know about that. That's cool.
So, but either way, it was they did the restart, and then we went. But like the way that woke the crowd up, the way that crowd went from, as I said on DAD, it was like they went from 70 to 100 when they that moment woke them back up, and they were into that rest of that match. When he hit the Pepsi plunge, all of that, they were crazy into that. But at the end of the day, I thought even the Wardlow stuff was slick.
I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, oh,
That Wardlow spot
because
was
they didn't
dope.
show it. They didn't even show it
Yeah,
at
that
all
was
till they went to that other camera angle where he's staring him down, but behind the
Right.
back he dropped the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
Yeah. I think we all kind of knew that this wasn't going to be the only match, and I think the way that they ended the match is a great way for it to continue. And it didn't hurt anybody what happened. It helped MJF a lot to get this win, to get these 2 wins, to get this moment. I'm sure we know he's wanted this moment for like 20 years, for a really long time. So like all of this like just paid off. Great match. CM Punk did the type of match you would expect him to do at this point, going to work 39 minutes. It all came together. I liked it.
What's also interesting is that CM Punk, even going back to WWE, has had the win in Chicago protected for a long time, where he beat John Cena in at Money in the Bank. He beat Chris Jericho at what was that?
Extreme Rules, I think.
Extreme Rules, one of the two. But yeah, it took place in Chicago. He beat Chris Jericho, and like the CM Punk match in Chicago has been protected. He won against Darby. He won against QT Marshall. You never doubted that, but he won against QT Marshall. And so to the point of where here at Dynamite, CM Punk versus MJF, Punk lost. He lost to MJF. Took the shot.
Right move.
Right. And but yeah, I thought it was a great match. I thought that it was kind of a reminder of who CM Punk is. I think that CM Punk to me has never been the cleanest when it comes to his offense. But so when people talk about CM Punk best in the world, I think there's a lot of people seeing Punk for the first time and are like, I don't know, this guy is kind of sloppy. I'm like,
people are like, oh, he's not like he used to be. No, he's always been like that's how he
exactly
works.
Who he
He's
is.
not
This is
how he works as a wrestler. He's kind of sloppy. He's a little bit unorthodox. It's not 100%. It's not like a pack match. You know what I mean? It's going to be different. So
he's not clean like Pac. That's a good example.
Yeah.
But no, CM Punk has always kind of been scrappy. Was the word that Theron used. He's very scrappy in his offense, and it looks scrappy. But at the same time, real fights kind of do.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, but where CM Punk is the best, I think, is and it showed here, is in his selling. I thought the selling in this match was phenomenal from Punk, especially the way he sold the knockout shot, the way he was just out. I thought looked great. And then also CM Punk is just kind of a masterful storyteller, and I thought that this match did all of that. And this was not a Kenny Omega match. This was not this wasn't a Bryan Danielson match. This was a CM Punk type storytelling match. It's a different kind of great match that CM Punk has always been good at, and this was a reminder that he is that guy still.
I can't remember which episode it was, but somebody asked us how did we feel about his return so far. And I think at that time I was like, he's telling this really interesting story about how he has to dig further into his bag of tricks every time to beat somebody. He looks like he narrowly escapes every time. And I mean, he basically lost that match to Wardlow. And so I feel like he finally reached a guy that he did everything he could to beat this guy, and he still just cheated and beat him. And I think that's a great story. I think the fact that he got people to believe that he was blown up and winded in this match. No, he was selling masterfully in this match.
CM Punk is such a great seller. That's what he does.
And to MJF's credit, man, look, I know this guy's a good talker, but you got to give this guy credit in ring, man. The way he was targeting that arm all match, the way he was targeting his leg later in the match, this was a really good match.
Yeah, no, Max, I think because he talks so much and he doesn't wrestle so often, people forget. Like, I remember watching him in MLW and being like, oh, no, this guy can, like, really do it. Like, it's not just about on the mic. It's not just about the things that he does. Like, no, when the bell rings, he can really go, and it it makes him a complete package. And so that's why we've been saying for a long time that the next AEW World Champion is more than likely going to be MJF. And I think this just cemented it.
Yep. Oh, and then there was another main event to talk about, and that was Jay Lethal versus Ricky Starks.
I missed this too, man. I missed a big night of
I
wrestling
didn't
going
see that
outside
one.
to drink alcohol at a bar. How was it?
Ricky Starks versus Jay Lethal. I thought it was a great main event. I thought this was a great way to send the crowd home in Chicago, and that finish was really the thing I want to talk about. You haven't seen the finish, Reg?
I haven't seen it. I
Man,
haven't
that
been
counter.
on the internet.
Yeah, that's
Oh
the only
my
thing I've
God.
seen from the match. That's it.
That counter was
Honestly, that's all you
ridiculous.
need to see.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
Reg, look up this finish right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look
Look it up. Multiple people. Mega Ran just shared it recently. Like, if you want to go to his account, but just the finish of countering the lethal injection into the Rochambeau looks so good. You got to see it.
Oh wait, that's probably. Oh, okay, yeah, that's dope. I like that.
That was such a great finish.
That's beautiful. I like that a lot.
Live reaction.
Yeah.
Only here on Grapsity.
That's super fire. Yeah. The crowd's like, yeah, that was dope. Whoa, great finish.
That was a great
Woo-wee.
finish, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that was super dope.
And you know what I liked about that? I tweeted this, but remember Cody a few weeks ago when he was talking about my good friend Ricky Starks is going to go in with Jay Lethal, and he was like, my piece of advice, avoid the lethal injection. He's like, it's the one cutter. No, he was like, it's the one cutter
always.
nobody kicks out of. Avoid. And I thought about that line,
telling
right?
them stories. How long do you guys think the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk match is going to be? Is it going to be an hour and 45 minutes? Or
They
is it
going.
going to be?
They
Them-
going. Cody 5 and the rest is TV time remaining.
I'm saying.
They doing their damn thing. Hey,
Them boys about to try to put together the storytelling match of a lifetime when they get
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Man, I definitely think that's going to be the match by Double or Nothing. Probably not Revolution, but I think that's going to be on the Double or Nothing card.
Can you imagine
if I
that
had to
just
guess.
never happens? They just tag team.
Yeah, for real. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that.
But you know what though? What I liked here about Starks was I realized here they might have something because like the correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember. Brian Cage, when he was FTW champion, had 3 title defenses. I know he had the one against Hobbs. He had one against, I want to say like Chuck Taylor. And then of course he defended against Ricky Starks. That was kind of it. And then Ricky Starks, on the other hand, so far he's had the match with Matt Sydal, and he's had this one, and he had the street fight with Brian Cage. And right now he's had a much better run with this belt. And I thought at the end of this match with Jay Lethal, I want to see something with this belt. We've just seen nothing.
Yeah.
But by the end of
Yeah.
this, I thought, I can
Just do this. Do
yeah,
this.
I was like, I
I
can
mean,
do this.
We know where this is going, right? If I had to predict,
Think you're gonna lose it to Dante?
I think he's going to lose to Dante,
Uh-huh.
and Hook is going to beat him, and he's going to have that title draped over his shoulder.
Hook's got to get that is
Hook
it. Look
with
at
the F.
Phil. Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's
Hook
it,
is going
yeah.
to have that title over his shoulder at some point.
Dante beats
Yeah,
Starks,
yeah.
and then Hook
Let's
beats
stand up to
Dante.
that.
That
Oh.
is
That is good.
beautiful.
I
Yeah,
actually really
perfect.
like that.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, because
actually
Hook
do-
has to have that belt. He has
Yeah.
to. Yeah. It's his dad's belt.
I could see Dante being the one to like upset Ricky though, because I think that's why they're avoiding it is because we're waiting.
I mean,
till-
Ricky's eventually going to make a fantastic baby face, and
Yeah.
the way to get him out of Team Taz of losing and being the disgraced FTW champion is a good story, and it's also a good way to make Taz the main guy in that stable.
Right.
Yeah. All right. 2 more things. We got. So what is Tony Khan's announcement? I will say I'm lost. There are a lot of things he said in his tweet that either make a lot of sense to me or make
The
no
guy
sense.
that has Tony Khan on speed dial is lost, you guys.
Hold on. First off, I'm not gonna ask. Although it was me that got Tony to clarify. That,
I'm saying, see,
when I was like, because it sounded like he was talking about 2 different people, and so I just messaged him really quick, and I'm like, He didn't respond to me, but it did say red, and then like 10 seconds later, he clarified.
He didn't respond, but he saw it and responded to it.
Yeah, it did. Like my message said red, and then like 10 seconds later, he posts the clarification of like the
Y'all seem to think that it's going to be Jeff Hardy. That's very interesting.
So here's the thing. I can
see
see Jeff Hardy based off of a couple of things. So he said that we're opening. He said somebody's walking through the forbidden door, and to me, forbidden door. He's unless we're changing the definition here, that term hasn't really been used for anybody that's just like a free agent, right? It's usually referring to somebody coming from someplace else.
Exactly.
So I was going up and down looking at this
because it's not forbidden if you're just free agent. You're just what are you forbidden from? You can wrestle anywhere you want.
Door, you know.
So my first thought was like maybe somebody from New Japan, like oh my god, it's like Will Ospreay gonna like show up or something, or is this the time for Okada? I don't know. And then he said the forbidden door can be open for anyone from any wrestling promotion in the world, whether it's a company, whether or not it's a company AEW is on good terms with, even if it's someone from a company that's open for business. So that immediately made me think, oh, he's talking about WWE. Then he said they're also welcome to slam the door in the face of their prior company, and that then made me think, wait. Slam the door. That to me sounds like burning a bridge, kind of like, okay, so who are we? Who would be burning a bridge by jumping to AEW on Wednesday? And then, so it's got to be somebody who, again, he said slamming the door on the forbidden door. Like
that's some words over there, boy.
So then I thought about, then of course he puts up the graphic. It's Isaiah Cassidy versus whoever it is who's coming through the forbidden door. And
That
then
makes
I
a
thought,
lot of sense.
Jeff,
so then
Jeff
also,
Hardy does make a lot of sense because
then-
it's Isaiah Cassidy, Hardy
Right, Isaiah
Family
Cassidy.
Office.
Exactly.
It's a ladder match.
Yeah, so that was the other thing was the Matt Hardy posted a video like almost immediately after talking about how he's kind of finding himself disappointed in Private Party. They lost the tag match last week
Fucking
on
finally,
Rampage. And he was like,
Jesus.
Isaiah Cassidy lost the TNT title match last night to Sammy Guevara, and now we got the match this Wednesday. Well, and so I thought about what would be slamming the door on your previous employer. Oh, easy. Violating the non-compete clause would be slamming the door. And so now I'm suddenly like, is it Jeff Hardy? Is Jeff Hardy about to just walk through the forbidden door, say, fuck the entire non-compete clause, I'm ready? Because the story
What
came
y'all
out,
gonna
of course, because the story came out this week that Jeff Hardy was called back. They asked him to come to the Hall of Fame, and he said no because he got his drug test results back. And it turned out that he was not
I thought
lying.
that part was very interesting. Well,
Yeah.
he made it very clear that he wanted the results to that drug test because they made it seem like that was the reason he was off that show.
I
I thought that was very
he
interesting.
pulls up and breaks this contract. He's like, "Yo, look at what they did to me. We out here in these streets." And that Jeff Hardy's kind of one I feel like they would be like, "We just have to take the L on this one because like, what are we really gonna do?" I feel like if like someone as of less tried to do this, it'd be big trouble. But if Jeff Hardy was like, you know what, fuck these, what they gonna do? I feel like they might be like, all right, damn. What we gonna
I've
do,
talked
Jeff
to a
Hardy?
number of people who have said the same thing. A lot of people, especially just in general, they have said that non-compete clauses like taking them to court get tossed out every time.
Yeah, exactly.
But and I've talked to wrestlers who have told me that as far as the non-compete clause is concerned, they're like, I don't know if it holds up in court, but it's more of just a respect thing of like, I don't want to burn that bridge in case I need to end up back in WWE. I don't want to violate.
Y'all getting
And
me
so-
excited, man. Y'all better
Yeah.
stop.
so I am wondering if it could end up just being like Keith Lee, right? But at the same time, like that's not
mean,
really forbidden.
just
door.
Keith
That's-
Lee is.
Yeah, okay, Janet Jackson disrespect first of all, and
okay.
now Keith Lee disrespect.
So, like,
well,
it's
Washington's
more so
on
that,
something
like,
today.
Like Keith Lee is a big deal, but Keith Lee isn't necessarily like walking through the forbidden door. He's a free agent.
Right,
Like
I
he
agree.
can show up anytime. It's
I
not
agree.
really like, oh my God, Keith Lee just did that. Keith Lee,
He burned this bridge. It's
yeah,
not
he's
really
not
like
burning
that.
a bridge.
Yeah,
it's
really
not
like
that. So, but on the other hand, I do think that it is that for Jeff Hardy. So I kind of think that's who it is, but at the same time, no fucking clue. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
really,
like, I don't know
that
what
could
this
it could
is.
be totally not Jeff Hardy, totally not Keith Lee,
I have
totally
no
it could
idea.
be.
But the
It
fact
could be
that-
Triple H. I don't know. The game could show up.
The fact that he said it would be slamming the door. The way he said
Triple
it,
H showed up,
slamming the
that'd be hard,
door.
though.
The way they said it's slamming the door on the previous employer. That's the part where I'm like, what does that mean?
I didn't even hear about that first.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, man. Hey, if that's where we're going, look. Give me Bucks versus Hardy Boys. Give me all of the matchups, man. Give me all of the matchups,
Well,
bro.
and
Bucks
Jeff
and
said,
Private Party versus
Private
the
Party
Hardy
and Hardy
Boys,
Boys.
man.
Yes.
Lucha Bros versus the Hardy Boys.
Oh, wait. Top Flight. Oh, my God. All of it. Just book it.
yeah,
Show
Ryan
up,
said,
Jeff.
I got
We like
Tony on
this.
speed dial, and it's
Or
going to
just
be...
Jeff and Dante, honestly. Couldn't even
Ryan
need
said-
that in this.
Ryan says in the chat, it's in a Humper chat, says, I got Tony on speed dial, and it's going to be Shane O'Mac versus MJF for the title of best in the world. All right,
Yeah.
well, good.
He said, all right.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we got a super chat. Fern says, there's money in Reg live reactions. We got Tyrone says, Punk versus Cody, Snyder cut on HBO Max.
Seriously, I'm saying.
Van
we cut the
Twin
3.5 hours down to just an hour and a half. So, for you
Did
guys.
y'all see Athena versus Thunder Rosa is happening?
Yes.
Did I?
We're
It's
all
happening. It's happening
very
here
excited.
in Chicago.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
look
wrestling.
at that. Yes, we are all very excited about this.
Another thing I liked from Rampage last night was that, I thought for the longest time that when everybody was saying, hey, it's time for Thunder Rosa to win the women's title, and I thought, yeah, it is. But at the same time, how do you get out of this Mercedes Martinez storyline that quickly when she's to get her to Britt Baker? And then the revelation last night that it was Britt Baker that hired Mercedes Martinez to take out Thunder Rosa, and she was like, and she even got mad at her because there was a DQ last night when she hit her with the lead pipe, and she was like, a DQ is not what we agreed upon because that keeps Thunder Rosa undefeated. You're supposed to take her out so that she is not a contender any longer at all. And so the story all comes back together, and I think we are getting Britt versus Rosa at Revolution, and I do think that Rosa's winning the title at
Let's
Revolution.
go, Thunder
It's about
Rosa.
time.
We love Thunder
We
Rosa.
gotta
It's going to
move
be
on from
amazing.
Rose
Yeah,
is coming
Britt-
for that belt.
Britt
We
has
gotta
done
move
it. I
on.
think it's time to we're probably going to keep implementing her with Adam Cole and doing intergender matches and some. But yeah, I think it's time to move on to a new women's champion.
they've
And
got
Thunder
options.
Rosa is the
And
one.
Britt can get it back.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the end of the road for her. She can still, and then she has the feud brewing with Jamie Hayter that's been happening for a
there's
long
stuff
time.
you
There's
can do.
stuff. It's happening.
Yeah.
And then we gotta talk about Nia Jax snitching.
Oh
'Cause,
God, what did
number
she?
one story.
Why? What? Why? You don't, Nia Jax. You don't have to say that.
Yeah,
You don't gotta do anything at all.
I know,
You don't
right?
gotta say
But
shit.
somebody called her out on her comments about the vaccines from last summer, and she followed up by saying that some of your favorite athletes got fake vaccine cards, and it's like, who? 'Cause,
Who are you talking about, Nia? Let's hear about it.
now, you know what? I'm not gonna say nothing either because I was gonna say I kind of know some folks too, but I ain't snitching on nobody either. But,
Wouldn't be
I don't know nothing. That's all Will Washington talking.
no, but why'd you say that?
Why did you say
Why
that?
did you say that?
Honestly, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make you look cool that you know a bunch of people that are doing that. That's awful.
And it-
Don't spread that out into the world. It's like, of course, there's people that are probably thinking and agreeing exactly the same as wrestling. There's all kind of wild people in sports, and there's always going to be. We hear stories about people all the time, but they aren't talking about it for a reason. So why are you saying it out
Yeah,
loud?
and
We don't want to
it's
hear
like-
about this.
It always irritates me that when people talk about the vaccine and COVID shit, and you're like, you're a non-believer, anti-vax, all this shit. When there's people and are close to affected by it, how are you still thinking like this?
Right.
Like your cousin Roman Reigns was, tested positive recently, and then Mojo Rawley. I don't know if y'all have seen this. He made a
He was
TikTok
sick
like,
for
"Yo,
18 months.
I
Mhm.
almost died from this shit," and they're buddy with. I don't
They
know
hang
their
out all the time.
relationship.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but they're
But,
together
how
pretty
do you
often.
see that and you know that he went through that and you're like, yeah, that shit sucked, man. What? How do you?
Yeah.
And Reg said something too. Reg was like, Lena Fanini, otherwise known as Nia Jax, she had a great interview, right?
Mhm.
She dropped some great stuff. but then the vax stuff kind of outshined all of it. And
Yeah,
it was
I liked everything she was saying about the backstage thing and how she doesn't feel heard and she felt like she needed time off because the work environment is toxic. There's a lot of things going on in WWE. She felt like she needed time away, but then she was like, but also the reason that I was away because this whole thing is bull. It's like, wait a second, what?
God damn it.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on a
mean,
minute, what happened here?
yeah, I think people are gonna miss some of the actual valid criticism she had
Yeah.
about WWE
Right.
that were in there. Like I think one of the things that was very telling is when they were saying she got the call to come back for the Royal Rumble, but it wasn't an actual call to come back. It was the call to be on the list, and then that list would go to Vince McMahon.
Right.
And then if you were approved off that list, then you come back for the Royal Rumble. And I think her whole way of looking at it was like, nah, I'm not waiting around for that. You guys are still paying me because I'm still on a non-compete. I don't get anything from doing this, so no.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we got to wrap. So just a couple more super chats. We got Derek Gordon says Josh Alexander. They mentioned him on Impact. His contract is up
true.
this month. They're
Yes.
slamming the door on the Impact partnership. Maybe.
Ooh.
Okay, I like that.
Rob says F Jeff. Oh, I see what he's saying here. He's saying fuck Jeff Hardy, fuck Matt Hardy, and the AHFO is a staff recommended
Hey,
as a
man.
motherfucking crew. And if you want to be down with the AHFO, then fuck you too.
Nah, man, don't do Andrade like that. Andrade has been hilarious.
Andrade is so good.
Kingpin. Yeah.
It's weird that everything Andrade is really just taking place on Rampage, because I was talking to somebody who doesn't watch Rampage. They're like, what is Andrade doing these days? And I'm like, he's been on Rampage every week, and the stuff with Darby's actually pretty good. But if you don't watch Rampage, I guess you're not seeing that. And a lot of people don't. Clearly, it does half the viewership of Dynamite. But C. Romero says, what's up,
Friday
y'all?
night, their time slot is awful.
Yeah.
Awful,
Says-
awful.
First time catching an episode live. Love that y'all discuss things from the culture, from our point of view. That being said, 5 Heartbeats or Temptations? Go. Temptations.
Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. I'm gonna go with Temptations because, man, it's just so many other quotables. It's hard to not pick 5 Heartbeats though, man.
both of them are. It's an impossible task.
Right
They're
before
just
my time, I'm gonna
both
say
hood classics.
Temptations. That's
Yeah.
I, I don't have a valid input. On this.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
changing
both-
mine then.
they-
I'm picking
they're
5
both-
Heartbeats. Y'all not gonna slander that movie.
It's just a good question, man. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
good
get
one.
black people fighting at the spades table for this one.
For sure.
Dante says Will's gonna get the next knock at the door after saying that.
For real.
And Robert says, Naya, remember when I almost died from COVID? Naya, LMAO, right? I can't believe
Yeah.
you faked it for that long. Mo just stares menacingly.
Like, what kind of a friend are you? You're talking this rhetoric, and I'm in my deathbed while you're tweeting next to me on the couch. What is going on here?
Hey,
Yikes.
X, I want you to let everybody know where to find you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Zeri High Life. My main YouTube channel is X3. I make longer wrestling videos. My TikTok is X3 with 4 E's. It's all 4 E's, by the way.
Yeah.
And my Twitch, I stream almost all the time. I have a cannabis-infused GMO to SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 called Schmackdown
Schmacked.
Live. It's so fun. It is a lot of
Schmackdown.
fun. I would love for y'all to pull up for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank y'all for
funny
having me.
guys.
This has been
Dope-
great.
dope kid.
Yeah, we got to have you back again.
I would
Always
love
fun.
to come back. I would love
Yeah,
to come back.
thank you. Hey, everybody, for Mr. Philip Lindsay, for Righteous Reg, for X3I, and Will Washington, we will see you next time, and have a great afternoon